Hello, people of the internet.
Hello.
You are watching A to J Connections. It's funny. You are watching A to J Connections. This is Ultra Podcast Z, episode 44. I never say the full title, and I promised myself I'd say it tonight. Ultra Final Ultimate Miracle Podcast Z 18, episode 44. We are coming to you live from various places around the world, or around the United States, as it were. Still the world. You know what's funny? If you think about it, because people always talk about, like, you know, being in space, but technically we're already in space. So
What?
yeah, I mean, the Earth is in space. We're in space. The atmosphere is keeping us here. You know, gravity is keeping us here. We're in space. No, we are all in space. Anyway, we are all fucking aliens. There you go. I'm starting the podcast like this. You know, we're just going off the deep end. Don't worry about it. But anyway, see all that craziness. Is my mic on? All that craziness.
No.
It'd be hilarious if it wasn't. It is on, thank God. Okay, I could see the freaking thing moving. Anyway, what was I getting at? My name is Manuel. I'm always here hosting. And almost always, I'll tell you, I'll go on that about a second. I am joined, per usual, by Konaru.
Hi guys, my name is Konaru, also known as Bookie Kitty. I just want to apologize for this week. I am getting deathly sick. I'm pretty sure I have strep throat. I'm gonna go check that out tomorrow. But if I die during the podcast, just spam the whole messages saying drink your water or some crap. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sick. Nice to meet you.
If you die on the podcast, that would probably mean massive views. I'm just kidding. That's like
Try to get the views tonight. You know?
But that's almost like Logan Paul territory right there. So we'll just move away from that. To our other guests, or not other guests, but our guest host for the night, who's actually been kind of frequent as of late. Jasmine, introduce yourself.
I am Jasmine. Yay. Or whatever.
She's spooky. We're talking ghosts. Yeah. Thanks.
We're really talking about scary stories tonight.
I know,
I got some Japanese scary stories to keep it theme appropriate.
I like how we're all like Jasmine and I like how we were both muffled for a minute there. But anyway, I'm taking that off. I was talking earlier how this thing's kind of out of all the face bandanas I own, this one's kind of wonky. The way it's proportioned. I'm somebody needs to have a really long face to it to fit properly, I feel. Also, I folded it wrong. Rip. But anyway, we are live. We are here. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about. Let's look at our topics for tonight. First of all, chat is open. Oh my God, I pulled my earphone off. Chat is open. Feel free to say what you please. Well, within limit, but say what you please within the Twitch chat. If you're on YouTube, leave comments, all that good stuff. We read all comments. Someone left a comment on the one we did with Ren, and I was so excited. I'm easily excitable, so please leave us comments. I really do appreciate them. I think we all do. I don't know, maybe I annoy everyone by telling everyone that, but we do. Anyway, yeah, we have a Patreon. Support us if you want to keep watching us. I mean, we won't stop, but I mean, we'll never stop. But if you want to support us Patreon. Patreon.com/A2J Connections. Anyway, so what are we talking about? We are talking about, first of all, we're going to cover a certain big topic, which you're going to have to do. We covered it. I covered it briefly with Heidi over the weekend, but we have to talk about BABYMETAL and Yui. If you don't know what that means, then we'll find out. But we'll talk about that. We have more Halloween stuff because we're still in our Spoopy special episode thing, and but tonight specifically we're talking about ghost stories. So we're talking about ghost stories we've experienced, ghost stories we know about, urban legends, other stuff like that. Jasmine will regale us with some tales of some Japanese specific ones to be on topic. But we're also going to talk about horror movies, and we have a lot about.
Hi, Max.
Oh, it's Max. We're talking a lot about creepypastas, and not just ones we know. I don't want to give it away now, but I remember you guys ever know that Bart the Simpsons one with the Simpsons episode where Bart actually dies? And that's my favorite one.
He actually fucking died.
That's my favorite creepypasta. We'll go over that. Actually, I looked that up. We'll go over that later, and we're gonna make an improv creepypasta somewhere towards the end. So yeah. So anyway, so let's talk about Yui for a second. Max kind of gave it away in our chat, but is Yui preggers? Because I think she is, or to be more accurate,
100% confirmed.
Yeah, 100% confirmed. She definitely is, or maybe was, and like, you know, we're already, because she could have been pregnant when she was performing the last time we saw her in December last year, and it's my math. Yeah. Actually, the math is still right. Yeah, so she could have already given birth for all we know, but definitely, I think she was pregnant. I think Illuminati confirmed she was pregnant. Don't you agree, Konaru, or do you have another theory?
I still think that she is another health problem. That the health theory where I was like, people reported that like her costume was very like loose fitting on her, you know. So I think she was going through like something like bulimia or something. But I hope either way, pregnant, bulimia, whatever, maybe. I really hope she just, rest and gets well, because that's all that matters to me in the end. Like, her getting better. Taking care of that kid too.
Take care of that kid. No. To play devil's advocate a bit, Heidi's theory was that it was probably more along the lines of like a contract dispute. That perhaps there was a contract dispute, and they might have been holding out for because perhaps Yui was asking for more money or better terms, and there was a delay because they were going to go on tour without her to, almost a test. That was really loud, Konaru, but almost as a test to see if if Baby Metal would succeed, and they kind of did on the tour. It sold out, but I still call fucking shenanigans that's bullshit, because that tour I'm sure would not have sold out if they had been upfront about Yui not being on it from the get-go. A lot of those dates sold out before that was any of this shit went down. But yeah, there's a lot of things to think about here. Is Baby Metal going to stay a duo, or are they going to replace her? Because as a duo, it's a little wonky.
Okay, so they had their Maruhake Messe live, like, yesterday, technically. And towards the end, they had, like, this little Triforce thing, where it was, like, at first it came with, like, the two triangles, I guess, was representing Sue and Moa. And then a third triangle came out of nowhere, and then it made like the little Triforce thing. So either Illuminati confirmed, or they do have a new member coming.
Illuminati confirmed. I can't do a triangle.
She pissed off the Illuminati.
She did.
They are okay. Baby Metal is the Illuminati. Let's just get that over with.
Dude. Not only have I gone down the rabbit hole more with Shane Dawson since our Illuminati podcast, since our conspiracy theory podcast from a few weeks ago. There's another channel called I forget what it's called. It's not just about like all those kind of conspiracy theories. Some of them are a bit more supernatural, but it does deal with some of them. And it's a channel. The guy's name is Miles Power, and it's hilarious because I watched him thinking I'd laugh my ass off because I don't know if you guys play Sonic the Hedgehog or any of those games, but Tails' his real name, Tails, Toon-Tailed Fox.
Yes, his real Miles per hour.
Yes, it's Miles per hour, but like
Miles
per hour. Yes.
Yes.
This guy's name is Miles Power without the extra R. So I thought it was gonna be a video game channel when I first started watching it, and I'm like, oh shit, he's debunking like conspiracy theories. And his channel's actually really, really good. I recommend him too, almost as a counter. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to go on to like how deep the conspiracy theory hole can go, and Baby Metal is the Illuminati. But going back real fast before we wrap up Baby Metal here, I don't know. It's curious to see what happens. When are these October shows happening? They already happened. I think they happen at the end of the month. But I feel like we're
I think there's one more, and then in November they go to Singapore or something like that.
Have you guys?
No, in November, between November and December, I think they go to Singapore and Australia.
Have you guys had the chance?
I think that wraps up like the 2018.
Oh, the World Tour or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you guys got a chance to listen to the new song?
I heard it. I watched the music video. It's okay.
I didn't like it much. I'll be straight up with you. I didn't dislike it either. I can't. See, the funny thing is, I can't.
Yeah, like I didn't dislike it, but I also like I don't know. It seemed like another song to me, like from like an album.
I can't.
Like a really good song is like out there somewhere.
Exactly. I can't remember the song they released previously. You know, they released it when right before the whole Yui, where is Yui nonsense. But it feels like that one where they both just feel like you're no Ren, by the way. Don't try to burp on the podcast.
Sorry.
You know, you can't hold her level of burping. I'm just saying.
I'm sick. I need to let out gas before I explode.
But anyway, what was I saying? Konaru distracted me. Really did. Damn it! My train of thought totally gone now. Oh, so the song. It's not only is it kind of generic. I'm just like, eh. I don't think it's what they needed after this huge bombshell. Which obviously we can't really say that because I'm sure it was filmed and in production before the bombshell. But then again, maybe it wasn't because I really got the feeling that the timing of this was that they already knew for a while she was gone, and were just hiding it. But
yeah,
I don't know. Baby Metal is definitely like a Muse's cash cow, especially in the West. Yeah, I don't want. Actually, I won't say that because that involves people I know, so I won't mention this other stuff. But yeah, I don't think that they're gonna do well for it. And let's not forget that today the Western fans got a hold of this news, or not the Western fans. The Western media got a hold of this news, and shit hit the fan for the second time in a row. Like,
yeah,
second time in a row.
Second time in a row. It's a weird way to put that. They hit the shit hit the fan again. You thought it was done the first time when all the Japanese publications got a hold of it, and all the the Japanese media sites got a hold of it. No. It's gotten a lot crazier since the Western media has. I'm trying to pull one up that I found some good comments on. Oh. By the way, if you type in Baby Metal Yui, pregnant is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth one down for me.
What's the first?
The first one.
First two ones.
The first one is sick. The second one is Mizuno News Yui Metal. They just add Yui Metal. Age and then pregnant. So let me hit pregnant. Let me hit pregnant. I'm curious what comes up. 18-year-old pregnant? Disgusting. Oh my god. I don't know if I should read this. I mean, because the Reddit thread is just
don't read it.
Just neckbeard things. Let me see.
No, don't read it.
Yui Metal is pregnant with the manager's baby, and the fan base is freaking out. It's gross. They act like they own these women.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I should stop reading this. This is all trolls. I'm sorry, I just can't stop. You ever? Oh my god. If you, oh, there's a Discord chat. Hold on, let's join the Discord chat for this. See if I get banned for asking this. Apparently,
no. Oh my god.
Apparently,
we're like totally derailing from this podcast now.
It needs to be overthrown.
Okay, you know what?
I just
continue.
Jasmine,
without him.
I just read Max's thing about me calling you out on burping. I wasn't calling her out for burping. I was saying she's no Ren, because Ren burps like if you're gonna burp.
That's still a call out.
If you're gonna burp, do it right. That's all I gotta say. None of this half-ass shit.
Dang, didn't know you want me to explode.
Hi, Jamming King 20. You made it to the room. What's that? What did I miss? But I assume the chat. But is he one of your friends, Jasmine? I think I remember seeing him last time. But
yeah.
So anyway, Baby Metal was it saying? Anyways, I actually didn't pull one of those articles up, but some of the comments are funny. Basically, you have a lot of gosh, what's the polite way to put this, Konaru? I'll let you say it. I'll have a female touch on the polite way to phrase it. I was probably going to phrase.
What?
The polite way to phrase what I was going to phrase. About the type of people.
I was not even paying attention.
About the type of Western fans who were offended.
Oh yeah, the white dads.
The white. Okay, I give it to you to give a more subtle. To give a more subtle take on it. You're like, the old white dads, like the 40-plus-year-old white dads, who who are kind of.
But that's what they are.
Well, they are. Remember that meme?
Real.
I wish I kept it because I deleted it after that podcast we did. The meme of the week where it was the baby metal fan, where it's all like. Where it's the white dad and he's all like, oh, like, I forgot what it was, but basically it started and ended.
It was like something about like how baby metal's like super good and they're life changing and everything. It's like,
and then no, at the end it's like at the end he's all talking about his ex-wife and like, please come back, I'm lonely or something like that. But
yeah.
But anyway,
That's tragic.
we're probably offending enough people already. Fun fact, please don't do this, I'm joking. This is totally facetious here. But when Max was on and we crap talked Baby Metal last time, that podcast got 17 dislikes, downvotes, dislikes, I don't know what you call them. Dislikes, I guess, thumbs down on YouTube. And it was crazy. I was like, oh shit, we got a ton of them. And as far as I know, I don't check them all like religiously. As far as I know, that's the most we've ever gotten. And I was like, I wonder if we could beat that. And
I want to beat that.
I don't know. I don't feel we were offensive enough because Max. I'm not saying Max was offensive, but Max didn't hold back. Max was like, she's pregnant. She's pregnant. It was like, you were there, Jasmine, I think. So yeah, it was you, right? I think it was the three of us, and she was just yelling it.
Yeah.
But anyway. So, ghost stories. Do we have them, or do we? Oh, by the way, everyone watching, and if you're watching for Baby Metal, you can go ahead and stop right now and hit that downvote button. No, I'm kidding. You can keep watching if you want. We're just letting you know that from here on, it's going to be our wacky waving inflatable.
Wacky October stuff.
Inflatable plumbing.
Yeah. It's funny. Max is Max is still on. I don't want to call you out because you're actually on the podcast, but I was talking to. I shouldn't even say this. I already started. I got to finish. I was talking to a friend of mine. It's about a thing. So I wasn't just randomly bringing you up. It was about like a performance thing, like business thing. And I was talking to a friend of mine. And she was asking, like, oh, like, what's Max like? And I was like, I mentioned, I showed her the links or whatever. Like, no, what's she actually like? Is she cool? Is she chill? Like, on a personal level, she didn't want to work. She doesn't, things like that. And I'm like, it's hard to describe. It's like, she's really, like, there's times I feel like she's kind of like, all over like this. And she's like, you mean like a wacky waving?
Okay,
that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, she's like hyper.
It's like, yeah, she's like a little hyper bean.
Exactly.
Like, really cute hyper bean.
So I was like, she's like this. She's
and I love her
like sometimes she's really high energy and all over the place, but in a good way. And she's like, it looks like you're saying she's a wacky waving inflatable like tube man or whatever. So all day. Yeah, I actually did that. I actually did this. So all day in my head, I was like, Max is a wacky waving inflatable arm tube man or whatever, however that saying that clip goes. Wacky waving inflatable arm tube man. Wacky waving inflatable arm tube man. That's Max. That's Max. Sorry, Max. Anyway, hope you're not offended by that. I didn't mean anything well, actually, I didn't say it. The friend of mine said it, but I will run with that. I hope you're not offended by it because I'm going to keep saying it. I'm just kidding. If you are, I won't. But if you're not, I'll keep saying.
Oh my god! I am a car dealership inflatable.
You are. Fun fact. This does tie into our topic though. I used to work at a Party City. I mentioned this a long time ago. And outside
you
of
mention this almost every single podcast.
Well, it's relevant now. So for Halloween, we actually had one of those, and it was like 30 feet tall. It was taller than the building, way taller than the building. And you would turn it on, and it had settings. It was the coolest thing ever. The one setting was obviously we were just like doing this, but you would turn it down, and it would do that thing where it would deflate, then go up, then deflate and go up. And I think someone stole it, like because we just plugged it in outside. Yeah, I think someone stole it, like because there were some nights like I think now starting from now on, like the week of Halloween, we didn't close until midnight. And there was one night where we didn't close at all. Like we were open 24 hours, but that's like the weekend before Halloween, like the Friday and Saturday. And it was one of those nights, I believe someone stole it. Like they just unplugged it and took off with it. So yeah. I mean, we didn't chain it down. We didn't think. I mean, I didn't think somebody, and it's really heavy. Like it was really heavy.
It was a group job.
So yeah, I don't know. One time I saw some people like in an alley, like by where I used, like when I was a kid, still a motorcycle, and that was the craziest thing ever. Yeah, these guys jumped out of a truck, and like three of them picked up the motorcycle, put it in the truck, and took off. I was like, oh shit! Like I never want.
Sounds like some purge. That sounds like some purge plot.
Yeah, it's like the first purge when no one knows what to do.
I know, just start stealing motorcycles. So yeah, anyway. But yeah, we're talking Halloween. We're talking ghost stories. So we're actually gonna start. What are we gonna start with? We'll start with stories that we've experienced. Oh, my thing's all blowing weirdly in the fan now. Jasmine, do you have any ghost stories you've experienced? I don't remember if you already shared all your ones or if you have or have not.
I don't know. Did I? I don't think I shared this one.
Okay, go ahead.
I've shared it with like other people, but I don't think I've shared this one before. So pretty much, I in high school, like I lived with my grandma. Mm-hmm. Always go out at night to like go play her lottery tickets. So I was just at home by myself one day, and it was like storming really badly. But it was one of those storms where it's like sounds like it's quiet outside, like one of those like consistent steady rains. So I was like upstairs on my computer doing whatever, and then I hear we have a really loud like screen door, and I hear the screen door like slam open like someone's coming in. And like she'll normally like announce that she's back, but like I didn't hear anything, and I was like, what the hell? So like I get up and I go and like I just like look over the stairwell, and like the door is just swinging wide open, like, but the screen, like the storm door and like the back door to the house is just wide open, and like rain is just like pouring in. I was like, what the hell? So like I think someone's like broken into the house, because like if she leaves she doesn't turn the alarm on. So like I go back upstairs and I get this bat, and I like go down the stairs and I like check in the pantry to make sure no one's like in the house like hiding somewhere. But like to this day I have no reason, like no explanation as to why the door just swung open that day. Like it's a storm door and like the house door. Storm door was just acting funny. Like it was both doors swung open in opposite directions. So I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, that was like my like ghost story. And it happened at like really late at night. It was like 9. Well, it was late for me. It was like during the winter, so it got dark early. So it was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
It was really freaky because I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
crazy. It's
yeah.
Now, I don't know how many of you watched last week that are watching now, be it in the chat or be it on YouTube, or not even last week, who watched on Saturday a few days ago. Heidi and I were telling ghost stories, and I told one about like I had saw a figure when I was I'd woken up from sleeping, and I had like sleep paralysis, and I saw a figure there. It was the creepiest thing ever.
Oh, no, that's the worst.
Yeah. Well, I don't really want to repeat the whole story, but that's the gist of it. There's not much more to the story than that. It's a creepier way to tell it. But I actually, believe it or not, I thought that was like an isolated thing, because Heidi talks about having sleep paralysis as well, but about the figure, she didn't really say anything about that. So it gets crazier. So Heidi had told a story too about a figure, an old man with a hat that was like all shadowy, and she had a feeling she thought that might have been like some guy who had lived in the house she was in previously or died. So anyway, that's important for in a second. So I watched a video on like shadow people, and it's funny because Shane Dawson did one, but that's not the one I watched. I watched that one later when I kept digging into it. But my point to bringing this all up, it was so consistent about the sleep paralysis, the shadow people, and one of the main things about the people was an old man in a hat. And I was like, that's what fucking Heidi saw. And I actually was saving that to tell her now, and I forgot she wasn't on this one, so I got to message her about that later and send her all the videos. But I was like, dude, both of those stories. And I'm like, and my power suggestion, I'm like, did my guy have a hat? I don't remember. I never thought about my guy having a hat, but it was so creepy. And I was like, oh my god, it's like I didn't realize other people experience this to the point that like it's a thing that, you know, on the.
So this actually funnily leads into mine.
Okay.
So I haven't told anyone this story yet, but like I used to, when I was younger, I usually had to either sleep with my parents or my grandparents, because like just in case anything happened with my heart, like, they were right there and they can, like, assess to me, like, right then and there. Especially, like, after surgeries, it was more helpful then. But, one time I had sleep paralysis. I was, like, maybe 6 or 7 years old. I was in my grandma's room and we were sleeping in the middle of the night. I'm pretty sure I have sleep paralysis now that I look back at it. And, like, I don't know, I just remember, like, seeing a figure with a shadow, but he was, like with a hat, and it was a shadow and everything. But he would wave at me, like, telling me, hey, what's up? You know?
He just wants to chill. I don't know. Yours seems more funny than mine. Mine felt a lot more ominous.
Well, that's how I feel about... Well, that's how I feel about, like, most ghosts, is, like, most of them are pretty chill. Like,
yeah,
they're normal people. Like, they're normal spirits, just like you and me, That's how at least I view them. Of course, there's evil ones, like, every now and then, but my family's, like, very spiritually connected and everything, so that's why I'm kind of, like, chill with everything, but it's just, like, now that I look back on that experience, I'm just like, wow, my dude had a hat too, but he was waving at me. Does that count as different?
No, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because I knew a girl in high school that saw shadow people during the day.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh, like, I get that too, actually. I don't really talk about this either, but, like, like, out of the corner of your eye, you think you see, like, shadows? Yeah, that's me every single day. Like, honestly, I do it, like, 2 or 3 times a day. Yeah. And my mom, same thing with my mom too, and my grandma and my great grandma. Like, it passed down from my mom's side, I'm pretty sure. We have, like, superpowers.
No, it's funny because I don't know, there's so many things which also to back up a little, Konaru mentioned that not all of them are bad and whatnot. To be totally fair and full disclosure, if you do look it up yourself, a lot of the videos did mention that these weren't necessarily malevolent type energy forces, spirit things. So perhaps even the one I experienced wasn't, it sure as hell felt creepy as fuck. But oh god, anyway, I don't know, like, we'll come back to this, but we'll come back to this too, because I want to finish this topic before we move on to things we know about. But, like, people like Eunice, people like and Heidi, by the way, for those who don't know, because Eunice is never on the podcast, Eunice is one of the people in AJ Connections. People like Eunice and Heidi, they always talk about, like, seeing spirits, seeing ghosts and shit like that, and I don't know, I've never it's funny because, like, we never talk about it until we do, and I'm like, do you guys see this shit all the time? You guys just never say anything, and both of their answers are like, yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I don't know. Real fun fact, if I move away back to our own personal horror stories, we were talking about, like, burial in Japan, and Heidi mentioned that it's illegal to bury people in Japan. And I fact checked that, and I think it is for the most part. I think some prefectures let you, depending where it is, but it is. So in my head, ever since Saturday night, I've been like, Japan would win the zombie apocalypse. Japan would win the zombie apocalypse. Like, first of all, they wouldn't be old dead to come back right away. You don't have to deal with the current dead. And they don't have the hang up about burying people to begin with, so you would just cremate your dead. And it's like, they would win the zombie apocalypse. Somewhere out there, if you watch The Walking Dead, only America, it's fucked up. If you go to Japan, they've already dealt with that shit. Everything's under control. And, like, people in America...
Walking Dead spin-off Japan is 2 episodes.
I know! Exactly! They're like, oh shit! Let's deal with the... thousands affected. Oh, we're done. Okay, from now on, if you get, if you die, you got to burn your dead right away. That's it. Story's done.
Carry on as you.
Yeah, exactly. Story's done. So yeah, I was like, oh my god. Sorry, I'm gonna read this thing. Oh shit. Lots of shadow people. I don't know, people.
Oh, sorry.
What? What?
Sorry, if you hear, like, my little line calls,
turn them off. I'm just kidding.
I'm turning them off.
No, Konaru, any ghost stories you want to share, perhaps? Wait, did you already share one? I don't remember. We're back to me?
I already shared one.
Okay, wait,
like,
I guess we're going
into mine.
Yeah, I guess
like,
and then Jasmine shared hers. So we're going round table here. So, this kind of goes into both categories. I don't have too many more. I actually don't. That's pretty much, as far as I can remember off the top of my head, that pretty much exhausts my stories at home. but the party city I worked at was very famously known to be haunted. Now the story went. This part isn't a story. This part's true. It used to be a jewelry store before it was a party city. This particular one, a really big jewelry store at that, because this is a big building. It was a big party city, and in general, and you can imagine a jewelry store should never really be as big as a party city. Period.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
and this was a big party city. Like, this was a big party city to begin with. So anyway, that building used to be a jewelry store, and the story went, and I think somebody did fact check it, and it was true, that it got robbed at one point, and a couple of the like the managers and whatnot had gotten killed there. Once again, no disrespect to any victims there if this is true. So the story, or not once again, because we didn't actually say it, but that's my disclaimer right there. So the story went that these people were haunting the place, and I never wanted to see. I confirmed it. Now the problem is, nobody I know has the video evidence anymore, but we actually had video from the surveillance cameras of things moving on their own, of things like, and it's so creepy, like, because we would notice it. Like, this happened all the time. Like, I was there for like 6-7 years, and I'm not about that. Well, yeah, it's about that long. So I was there for about 6 years, and we would notice things like, oh, the thing I left here is gone, and mind you, we weren't checking it because, like, oh, it's the ghost, but we're like, did somebody steal like our reports? That's important. We need to check. So we go on the camera, and you would just see it like slide across the desk, and it's like, what the fuck, shit like that. That one was very specific. I'll never forget that one. And we all watched it. We're like, what the fuck? And then so we all recorded it with our cameras, with our phones, because we can copy it. You can make a DVD. It's really old technology on that thing. But first of all, it probably wasn't legal for us to do that. We probably got fired, so we didn't really want to do that. So we just recorded it off our phones. But all that footage was on an old phone. It's lost. It's not in my Google, like whatever you call that, like the Google Drive history, or whatever the fuck. I never back shit up because I'm stupid, so it was never there. But I'm like, oh my god. There was other times where like, a file cabinet fell over, and sure, it might be like, oh, maybe it was broken, but it's like, how the fuck would the file cabinet fall over? It's like, that thing was heavy, and it just like falls over like this. Shit would fly across the store. Like, one time we couldn't see it, so we were always like, is somebody hiding in the corner? And we kept watching it like nobody was there, because like, it's hard to explain the geometry of the store, but we would like stack costumes like really high, like up to the ceiling, and the camera is like facing here, and you just saw like I think it was just one, maybe it was two costumes fly over the camera, like onto the floor, like way over there. It's just creepy shit like that. There were stories like that galore. Yeah, and it's like, oh my god, it's like the party city was haunted. I don't know. I talked to some old employee friends of mine over the past week, and they all kind of confirmed these stories, and they told me other ones. There's tons, but to be honest, they're just variations on the same theme, so they're not really worth like all repeating. But yeah, there's a lot of shit like that. People have said they've seen things. People have said they've gotten mysterious calls, like like what they answer the phone, just like, and I'm like, shit, it's not a prank. It's like, it could be a prank, but it's still creepy. Like, what the fuck, in light of everything else. So yeah, I don't know. There you go. Jasmine, do you have another one?
That's wacky.
It's wacky. It's wacky waving inflatable arm tube man. Wacky waving inflatable arm tube man. It's Max. It's Max.
It was the wacky inflatable arm tube man haunting your store. That's why everything went all over the place.
I'm sorry. Like,
I guess I don't have one that's like. I have one that's kind of like that, where it happened at my school, but I wasn't the one that like experienced it. Does that count?
I guess we'll move on. We'll move to that. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's the gummy bears.
So, I have like, well, I know like, okay, so at my school, we had like 3 stories, and my school was built in like 18-something. Apparently, they used to have Latin at my school, and like they got rid of it like in the 90s, I think. It was pretty like recent that they had gotten rid of it, I guess, within my lifetime. But people who would stay after school doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing, claimed that they were when on one of the hallways, because we had a lot of like weird like indents because our school was like built onto. There's a room that people would open thinking it was like one of the computer labs to hide, you know. So yeah, and it's just like a old classroom, wooden desk, because like we still had some older desk, and there was just like Latin like to the desk and stuff, and like written on the, like it had chalkboards and stuff in it. So apparently this room, it was like people have different rumors on where it was, but like multiple people were like, I've seen this room before. And like they said it felt like a creepy vibe, and of course it was dark and there were like no lights and stuff. But like you could see like Latin and stuff like scribbled onto the walls and like onto the desk and things. And like, then I was like, you know what? I don't want to find it. And then like, but yeah, they said that some people were like, oh, the room moves, and some people were like, but there was one door that I never got to check before I graduated. We had assumed was actually where it was. We had something like that. Like no one like said they saw anything in it, but it was just really fucking creepy. I guess that's kind of like a
that's
about like none of the teachers, all the teachers like, what are you guys talking about? And we're like, in our school, like someone has a key to it. So yeah, that's a creepy story there.
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Like I never, before we had this topic, I remember back when we had the topic almost jokingly with Max about telling ghost stories. I'm like, I don't have any. And the more I thought about it, and mind you, I'm not making these up. I'm not like over exaggerating them. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, shit. You know, I do have several. I just don't think about them. It's like the whole thing I mentioned earlier with the Heidi thing and the Eunice thing. How you don't talk about it until you do. It's like I just don't think about it until I do. And yeah, like I don't know. I experience shit when I'm like, you know, home alone somewhere, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like, you know, every sound is like, which is why I don't know if anyone knows this. I'm not like, I don't know if it's actually a phobia or just something I've grown used to from being in the city, but like I've had people tell me it's a phobia. Like I'm not scared of the dark, but I have this thing about silence. Like I can't.
Same.
Yeah.
My mom's the same way.
I can't stand silence, and so yeah, I don't know. Like I usually if anyone ever like comes over, visits me, or hangs out with me at a convention, or like shares a room with me at a convention, I'm like one of the weirdest people to ever hang out with, because like usually I just like when I fall asleep like with whatever I'm doing, because like first of all, that's what I do. I work till I fall asleep, but I'm not the kind of person who will turn everything off and like get all quiet and get all bundled and warm and go to sleep, or whatever. Or if I'm sitting around, even when I do the podcast, fun fact, I don't know if I ever tell you guys this, fun fact, actually I don't do it that much anymore because the earphones are hard to do it with. I usually have other stuff in the background to make noise, because it's like I turn everything off, which is why I use this kind of mic and not like, you know, one that picks up other things, because I hate it being silent. I don't know, it's like creeps me out. Anyway, so I guess it is a phobia. There you go, I said it creeps me out. Anyway, you guys, everyone's gonna attack me with the wacky waving inflatable arm tube movements. Don't do that.
Yep.
Y'all are evil.
Yeah, like for me, I really don't have that many like ghost stories, honestly, like creepy ones, because like I guess because like I'm so chill around ghosts, like I see it just as normal activity as a human being would.
The way you say
like,
that.
I don't know. What?
The way you said that, I'm so chill around ghosts. Like the one's like, hey, what's up? It's like, hey, what's up? High five. Oh wait, I can't. Haha, joke's on you. That's what I imagine.
No, it's like seriously. I think because like, you know, I'm not scared of them. And I'm not like, you know, about it. Like when they're around, you know, I don't think much happens to me. But I've heard like a lot of other crazy things from like other people. Like, okay, I went to go get my hair cut this last week, and I got my nails done too. And
I want to dim my light for more ghost stories. Hold on. There we go.
This lady that was cutting my hair, she was telling me about like how she divorced her husband. She was an old lady, by the way, and like I felt bad, so I was just to listen to her because, you know, she's probably lonely, you know. It's very sad. But anyways, I was listening and she was like saying, Yeah, the house we used to live in. Okay, mind you, we live in a military like kind of city, so most of it is Air Force. So she used to live by one of the Air Forces that I actually live nearby, but she lived a little more closer, like literally right next to it. She moved into this house like in the 80s or 90s, and with her now then husband. And at first she was like, it was like the first 6 months were fine, and then like later on they started like getting like paranormal activity. So basically the ghost would just like let's say here's a banana.
What's that sound?
Yeah.
Wait, what's that sound?
Like the ghost would. Is
that you?
Was like. Yeah, it was my banana. Like,
oh, you scared the shit out of me. Cause I'm listening. No, I'm listening, but I can't, and I'm not looking at you. Like, I'm like, wait, what is that? You freaked me the fuck out. Don't do that. Oh my god, that was real. You should have went with it and not said anything. Oh no, because when we were on the podcast, okay, we'll come back to your story. We'll come back to your story. Don't worry. Whole lot about the bananas. Anyways, when Heidi was on the podcast last week, we were telling ghost stories, and I kept hearing these sounds. Turned out there was a neighbors doing fireworks, but I got so freaked out because they sounded so muffled because of this. You know, all the shit I have going on, and I'm like, what's that sound? What's that sound? Heidi was even like, oh man, don't start right now. We're talking about spooky shit. I'm like, seriously, what's that sound? And god damn it, Konaru. Okay, go on.
Okay, so you know the ghosts would basically just like move stuff around. Like if they had groceries out, they would go back
like
to
the
get
bananas?
more groceries. Yes, if they went to go back to the car to get more groceries, the stuff would be like let's say like one bag when you move to the couch or whatever. Like, it was first on, like, the kitchen table, it would be moved to the couch. So, at first, she thought, like, her husband was doing it, because, you know, haha, it's so funny. But then she, like, took video of, like, the kitchen and everything, and she would see stuff get, like, pushed off, or, like, move slightly, and it was really spooky footage, like, oh my goodness. She showed me it, I was like, oh, okay.
Well, it's probably the kind of shit that I had from work, yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, eventually, like, that whole scenario of them going through that, like, her and her husband, it led to them getting divorced because, you know, the husband thought she was doing that shit, but then she thought the husband was doing that shit, so, you know, it led to them getting divorced because they couldn't, like, you know, handle it, and then they eventually moved out. And that's a spooky story. Yeah.
So... before we come back to more like spooky stories about like, you know, other nonsense about like urban legends and things like that, not so much nonsense, but I say nonsense in the casual sense, not that it's actually nonsense. By the way, vote in the chat. Is anyone watching us? There's a few people in Max by Still. Oh, there's a lot of people, not a lot of people, but like a decent amount. Vote in the chat if you want me to do Bloody Mary live on camera. Y'all can't like I can't really move the camera anymore because the way the computer is. But that you can kind of see it. That's a mirror. You see it? That's a damn it. That's a mirror right there. That thing is a mirror, and I can do the Bloody Mary thing right there. I'll even turn. Well, there's still gonna be light because damn, because there's still.
Speaking of voting, please be sure to go out and vote and get a lottery ticket.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're in California, but it's California, right?
No, it's like everywhere.
Is it really everywhere?
You're getting lottery tickets too.
Mega Millions.
Oh, it's
Johnny an hour.
I thought it was anyways, whatever. Don't do that. You're not gonna win.
Shit, oh god.
Anyway, so let me know if you want me to do Bloody Mary right there. So anyway. Well, I want to see if I die on I die during the live stream on Twitch. But
you just want the views. They're all dislike.
Exactly. Like I want to be like. Have you ever seen the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street? There's
I don't like that one.
It actually wasn't very good, but there is a scene where the guy's all like, you know, it's like he's like I think he's live streaming. He's on YouTube or some shit like that, and he's telling everyone about like about Freddy and everything like that, and then he falls asleep while doing the stream, and then like you see him just fly off to the side, then like the feed stops. That could be me. That could be me in the IRL though. So yeah, that could be me. No, But let's actually move real fast into horror movies. A little topic that we kind of covered with Heidi that we didn't cover here. Well, we accidentally covered with Heidi because our thing didn't work, so we just did a podcast.
Okay. Best horror like saga like series or whatever like movie series. Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes. Okay.
No,
case closed.
because Dream Warriors. I admit Dream Warriors is awesome, but
Dream Warriors was the best. Okay.
But
all the other Nightmare on Elm Streets, like, they were good too.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
like,
the best.
I remember when I was young, one of the first, like, Freddy's Dead, I think it was called, the last one, quote unquote. That one was that one was relatively newish. My uncle, I believe he was to me, owned a video store back then, so we used to rent a lot of. Well, we wouldn't rent, but we just like borrow them because wouldn't charge us. We'd borrow movies from him all the time, and I remember borrowing that movie like really young, and I remember that was like probably one of the first. Mind you, I was still like at the age. I was still really young. I was at the age when like certain horror movies still scared me. But I remember watching that and like that might have been the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie I saw. I don't remember exactly, but I remember watching that, and even then, almost like this is almost funny. Like I'm not really scared by this. There were scarier.
That's my mom.
There were scarier moments in part 3, I feel, but which I didn't know yet.
Yeah.
But I remember watching that one, Freddy's Dead, and being like, "Oh, this isn't exactly like scary at all. Like, what the fuck?" There were cameos. There was a part where Freddy put on the power glove, and like there was a kid in a video game, and it was shit like that. And I'm like, "Oh, this isn't exactly scary." But then again, I remember being more scared by this isn't my favorite franchise, by the way, but I remember being more scared by Child's Play. The Chucky movies and whatnot.
That was scary.
Dolls in general. But if you ever watched the first one, I remember like, oh gosh, I love. The first one apparently, mind you, it doesn't quite work in the movie the way it's done now because it has that intro scene. Apparently, that script was written where you weren't supposed to know for the first half of the movie-ish whether the kid was doing the killing or not. That doesn't work anymore because now there's the opening scene where it shows him transfer his spirit to the doll. But if you cut that out, apparently that was the original plot, but it was thought to be too dark. If you make an edit somehow and you take that whole scene out, it works in that fashion where you don't know whether it's like this psycho kid because it's played like that. And if you remember the movie, that's what everyone thinks.
Yeah,
that's what everyone thinks. They're all like, "Oh, this little kid, we should probably take him to a hospital," and they think he's killing people.
Yeah.
And he's blaming it on the doll, and that would be a much crazier movie if anyone ever wanted to try that. I mean, I'm not saying that. I mean, we still have the killer doll because that's still creepy as fuck. But it's a crazy angle to work for that to have you think that for half the movie. But no, I remember that movie scared the shit out of me. And my grandmother used to have like these creepy ass dolls everywhere. And I don't know, Max probably doesn't care because Max has those fucking like triple dolls. But getting scared by voodoo dolls that roar. What is that? Who gets scared by voodoo dolls that roar?
It's a Lifetime movie, actually.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It literally came out like 2 days ago.
Is it about voodoo dolls that roar, or is it like
okay? It's like, it like starts off with like this chick and like her mom and her sister, and they move into this house, and their dad just died, and everyone's like blaming each other for his death. Blah blah blah. High school drama, right?
Yeah.
She goes to this new school, and like the girls hate her, and whatever. This one popular girl is doing all this stuff. So apparently, she finds this voodoo doll, the shed of like their house. Like the new house they moved into, and so she like takes it out and she's like, "Ooh, I need something personal." So like she goes and like she takes like something, like her sister's like ribbon because her sister's like a lacrosse champion, and like stabs it in the thing's leg, and her sister has leg pain. So anyway, this chick is like crazy with voodoo powers and like starts using it against like her mom's like evil coworker, the teacher, to make the teacher like her. And then like it gets really out of hand and she tries to like kill it, so she tries to bury it in this like shallow hole. And like long story made short, at the end of the movie, like her sister, her mom, and her are fighting the voodoo doll in their house, and there's a scene where she hits it with like a lacrosse stick and it lets out a tiger roar, like a legitimate like stock sound tiger roar.
What the fuck?
And you're just like,
this is a Lifetime movie? Why did I blur my camera?
Lifetime movies are meant to be this tacky, so...
No, but usually the Lifetime movies that are tacky are just like...
And like it hissed, it did like voodoo noises. Intimate tiger roar. And I'm like...
No.
I love Lifetime, you know?
I used to work at a bookstore for like a couple of years when I was younger. I loved that job, by the way, because like I didn't do shit. And I used to film in that store all the time when we were closed. But so I used to work at this bookstore. Actually, the manager of the bookstore. That's how I was able to film there. And one point mind you, it was like, what's the word? It was a bargain bookstore. We used to get like remainder stock and random ass shit. But we did get like new stuff. We got the new Harry Potter books. We got like, fucking Da Vinci Code, which was like, I think that one was big at the time because of the movie. I don't remember. Anyways, got a lot of shit in.
Yeah.
So anyway, one time we got in like a voodoo doll kit, like those kind of like $10 voodoo doll kits, and I remember I used to play with it all the time at work, and my other coworkers would be like, "That's so fucked up. You shouldn't be playing with voodoo dolls like that, especially at work." And I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna get your hair. I'm gonna put it around this." And I think I did do that. I was like, I got some of her hair because she was like doing her hair one time, and I put on the doll and I was stabbing it. Nothing happened, of course, but I'm such an asshole like that. So, God, there's sound like an asshole. I'm not an asshole like that, I think now, but back then I remember I was really fucking around with that voodoo doll. I love that voodoo doll. I think I left, and then one day when the employees threw it away, because I left it there, I'm not technically I was like. Technically, I guess I already fucked it up by... No, I remember now, because the package was all sorts of damaged the way it came. They were all damaged to a bit, but there was a couple that were, like, unsalvageable, and, they were damaged. I'm just playing with the shit that was on the counter, and I remember... Yeah, anyway, and eventually somebody threw it away. Rip in pieces, that voodoo doll. This is neither here... This is neither here nor there. This is neither here nor there. Dare. That's what I always say, comforting someone, dare. But, I remember, that we had this really huge back room that was like a stock room, but the lights were broken in it, and you couldn't... This isn't a ghost story, by the way, but it sounds like it's going there. But, the ceiling, you could never... you couldn't reach the ceiling because there was so much shit in this room. And, it used to be, another bookstore before we were there, so they had all their old stock there and all these old shelves. And you couldn't get a ladder to change the light because there was no space. So the lights just never worked in this fucking room. And what was I getting at here? Oh, yeah, so anyways, it was always a fun thing to do, just to go in there and... every so often, every couple of days, I go in there and just fuck with shit, look for random shit. I remember one time I opened up a box, and it was, the biggest shipment of porn you've ever seen in your life, and I was like, what kind of bookstore was this? And yeah, I remember I just brought them out, and I think this was my district manager was coming out later that day, and I was like, look what I found. I was just so amused and amazed by it. She's all like, oh, she thought it was funny too, but she's all like, just throw this away when you're done. And mind you, I'm 18 at the time, so this was super amusing to a teenager to be digging around the stockroom and find all this porn. But yeah. So anyway, that's the biggest aside ever. I wish that story had ghosts, but it doesn't. No. People said that store was haunted. I never experienced it. One of the employees did. She told me all this shit. But I feel like a lot of but this one actually was confirmed. I remember I found this out through because I became the manager when the manager before me quit, and she was telling me all these safety things about what to do, because I'm young, and she's like, don't be stupid. If they rob the store, just give them whatever. And she was telling me the story that when it was that other bookstore, that they robbed the store and killed everyone in the store. And I asked my district manager this, is that true? Because, I freaked me the fuck out. And this was kind of recent. This is 5 years before I worked there, And apparently she worked in the company of that store that used to be there. So she told me, yeah, that's all true. I hope she wouldn't have told you that, but yeah, it's true. I can't lie to you. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, and mind you, yeah, those offices were part of that stockroom area. So I wish there was a ghost. That sounds terrible. Once again, I apologize. I don't want to offend anyone because this one's 100% true. Don't offend anyone that don't want to speak ill of the dead. But I almost wish there was a ghost story to tell you about that really huge, creepy stockroom that had no lights. But there wasn't that I ever experienced, except there was a lot of porn in there. Yeah. Anyway. Goosebumps episode with Screaming Voodoo Doll. Speaking of Goosebumps, I used to love the Goosebumps books when I was a kid. Did you guys ever read those? Are those out of your
I
age?
did. I read the like Build Your Own Adventure one. I don't even remember what it was about, but it was like if you would do this, go to page 47.
Yeah.
And, I remember reading one of those.
It's funny because I'm that kind of person that I would like oh shit, like, you know, I'd hold my finger like, you know, on the other page. It's funny because I saw like because Family Guy kind of spoofed that where like Peter's reading one and he reads that he's gonna die. He's like, oh, I'm holding the page still, didn't happen, I'm holding the page still. I legit did that. I would be like, oh crap, go back. But yeah, I actually had a couple of those too. I forgot what they're called. Now I used to love R.L. Stein, period. I loved his work in general. I used to love what those were called. They were called like Scare Yourself. I don't remember anymore. But they had a stupid punny title of, you know, what they were, Choose Your Own Adventure. But yeah, I read those. I read Goosebumps. I read Fear Street. I even read a lot of his standalone novels, and he even started doing like adult, not porn, but like he'd do like, you know, not young adult fiction, you know, like meant to be in the standard horror section, you know, of a bookstore or whatnot. And I even read some of those books. Funny enough, they had them at the store when I was at that bookstore. So I remember reading some of those. He had a book called The Sitter, which I was I was like, what the fuck? He's writing real horror. And there was even sex in it. I'm like, R.L. Stein, for shame. It's like, what the fuck?
For shame.
It's like, you're supposed to be talking about like that, about Slappy. Remember the dummy Slappy? From like all those Night of the Living Dummy books and TV shows and everything. But yeah, anyway. Choose Your Own Adventure. Were they still? What were they called? The Goosebumps ones, though. So somebody Google that. Maybe I'll Google it. I don't have my browser open. But anyway, Jasmine, what's your favorite horror movie series or horror movie if you just have one?
I like now, like in terms of modern day horror movies that I liked Insidious. I thought that was really cool. Insidious was really. I think they did it. They did things differently, so I liked Insidious, and I liked Oh, yeah, that's Insidious. And what was the other one? It was like about the guy and he watched... It was like a part of the same company that made Insidious, and it was like they, like he found like old records. Mr. Boogie was like the villain in that.
The fuck?
It's called.
By the way, those Choose Your Own Adventure books are called Give Yourself Goosebumps.
There you go.
I just looked them up right now, but go on.
It was...
What were they called?
Give Yourself Goosebumps.
But yeah, like I liked Insidious, but it was another series, and it was like a guy, and he found like all these old like Super 8 films, and like he'd watch them, and it was like people getting murdered and stuff, and it was like, I don't even know what that's called. Does anyone know what movie I'm talking about?
No.
Like
something to describe it like somebody looking up snuff films. I don't know what movie that is though. That's crazy.
It's like it just came out. It was, well, not just came out, but it was a pretty recent. It came out around the same time as like Insidious and stuff, and like after The Conjuring and all that. But it was kind of like I need to find what that movie's called. That's gonna bother me. But yeah, and then like my old classic that I like is
Was it called Sinister?
Yes, Sinister. That's the one. I liked that one. It got really he had it a little out of hand, but I did remember liking that one. And my favorite classic horror movie is Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah.
Because of like the creepy stuff that happened after Poltergeist was filmed, and like how everyone who made that movie pretty much died. So I thought that was like nice of it. So.
Oh yeah, somebody in the chat mentioned it's called Sinister. But yeah, it's funny to find that movie. I googled horror movie where a guy finds snuff films, and I think it was the first thing that came up, and I was like, oh shit. But it was recent, so I'm like, is it called Sinister? And it's about the time as Insidious as well. But I don't know if I have a favorite series now that it really comes back to me again. There's a Okay, I guess these are two completely different things. I love the Saw movies. Some people hate them. I love them for like the somewhat mystery aspect of them. That's not my favorite by far, but that comes to mind right away. I'm a huge fan of all the slasher ones too, but I can't say that I love the series because like some of them are crap.
Yeah.
Even the Nightmare, like all of them have like really crap entries, and some of them are just like only good sometimes. There's a Korean horror series. I want to say, gosh. They've all been released in the US, but they all have different titles because they've been released by different companies, and all of them pretend that they're not a trilogy. I mean, not a trilogy, that they're not a series. And I want to say it's called Whispering Corridors, because I know one's called Whispering Corridors, one's called Something Staircase, one's called Memento Mori, one's called Voice, and one's called fuck, I forget what the fifth one's called. But there's a series of 5, and it's basically like a horror series set in a school. That aren't tied together, except that it's something about ghosts in the school. Now that I actually think about it, I think the Tomiya series is my favorite horror series, which is a Japanese one, which kind of ties it in. It's awesome. You all should check it out. It got really stupid with one of the more recent entries. Let me find out what that one's called. I think it's like Tomiya, with all the Tomiyas, like, you know, which to be fair is from the manga, but it doesn't translate well to film. But the series is really awesome, especially like the first like 6 or 7 of them. Yes, there's that many. The first 6 or 7 of them are really like almost all strong hits in my opinion. But anyway,
I don't know if this is pretty obscure, but I like plague movies. Like, you know, people get sick and die en masses. Like, that's a good
yeah.
one. Yeah, like there's
like
this
Quarantine.
One yeah, like Quarantine. As tacky as they are. Like, as tacky as every single plague, like, mass plague movie is, they're just so good to me. I don't know. I'm so weird.
That's like, like we mentioned about the zombie plague thing. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. Plague movies are good too. I don't know. I can't think of any horror movies.
I like this one called, it's a Korean one. It is super good. Like, this is my favorite, like, plague movie, and I love me some good Korean dramas and like Korean movies and everything. I think it was called The Flu or something.
Oh my god, no, I saw that in theaters. Oh god, I wish you would have told me about this. I have it, like, and I just saw it this morning. I went no, I have I went to its premiere in the US. They actually had one, believe it or not. In LA. I went to the premiere in LA. And they were giving out all this shit, and one thing that they gave you was a fan, but it was a mask you would hold up to your face, and it was like a plague mask, and it was like the flu. But dude, that movie's fucking crazy.
Dude, I love that movie. It's so good.
It's amazing, and dude, there's that scene where like they find out that lots of people are dying, and they're just moving the bodies with like with like
and then they put the little girl in there too.
Yes, and they're just like
he goes in there.
Yeah, they're like using like bulldozy type things to like move the bodies around. It was just like I'm like, what the fuck? Like that scene? No, that scene is one of the most memorable scenes of any movie. Like that visual, I mean to say. I was like, I'll never forget seeing that in theaters. And mind you, obviously it was the premiere, so I saw it in a packed theater. And when that happened, everyone was like, oh, like it was like there was no air in that room left because everyone like, you know, inhaled like crazy. And I was like,
oh my god.
It was like one collective, was like everybody's like, oh my, and people were like, oh my god, like people were legit like, you know, like what the fuck. Yeah, that movie was crazy. Yeah,
I love that's my top #1 plague movie.
No, it's funny because
probably, like my second favorite horror movie, honestly.
No, that's a good
plague.
one. Oh my god, it's funny because like I came across the fan thing earlier. Sad thing, I actually considered throwing it away, but I didn't. And I didn't even register the movie. I kind of just picked it up, like, oh yeah, I was thinking out for that one movie, and I put it away. And then now that you mention it, all came flooding back. I'm like, oh my god, that movie was fucking insane. And I think I want to say like the director, or maybe more than, maybe both, but the director or the star that was there too. But yeah. Anyways, that was a good movie. That was an amazing movie. And I think I might have saw that one twice because the theater's still there. It's called, you know, it's a CGV theater. It's like it's a Korean chain, and there's a couple of them in SoCal, and there's one in Koreatown, which is which is where like next to where I live, and I've been to that one countless. I've seen countless movies there and several premieres. But damn, that's a good movie. Everyone
Dang, I'm gonna watch it like after this podcast.
I know everyone.
That should be our movie. Honestly, I want that to be our movie night this week.
Yeah, everyone go watch. Everyone watch The Flu. Watch it with us. We'll figure it out.
I want to watch The Flu.
I'll have a trailer in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, and everyone go check that out. Oh my god. So let's actually move this along actually because we actually skipped a few of the other topics, so we're gonna come back to them. But let's talk about creepypastas. Now, let me actually look this up.
Can we pause real quick? I'm gonna get my lotto too because I want to check the numbers.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be like right here, so.
So I'm trying to look up that Bart creepypasta anyway. So I don't know if you guys knew this. I actually didn't know this. I don't know much about like the root of the word creepypasta, but apparently it comes from like copy pasta, which is like all those like those emails that people send around.
Long.
Yeah. Now I don't know if that's creepypasta, but I think the first one I ever encountered was like that story. I don't remember the details of it anymore. I'm sure if I googled it I'll find it, about this couple. And like the girl saves the boyfriend, but then she thought the girl had died ages ago or something like that. And it's like and people spoof that one all the time. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like this it's like don't go this. It's like, oh my god, she saved my life. I'm gonna go call her. And he calls her and or something like that. I don't remember the exact details. And the mom's like, she died last week. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
and it's like one of those, that was one of the earliest like creepypasta type stories I remember. But that Bart Simpson one, I'm trying to find it right now. And like this one's funny because like, okay, this makes me like an ass, but I remember my I had this ex-girlfriend a while back, and she's the one who showed me this one. And she woke me up in the middle of the night because we lived together at the time. She woke me up in the middle of the night. And she's like, Manuel, like, oh my god, I just read the creepiest thing ever. She explained the whole thing to me. I'm gonna look it up in a second. She explained the whole thing to me, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't understand why that's scary. She's like, no, you don't understand. Like, listen to it, read it. And like, it's scary. And I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, she was so weirded out, but I don't think she slept that night. And like, I used to make fun of her like about it for like ever, and I would keep bringing it up at the worst times. Like, not I guess to be an ass, but like she came ready to go to sleep, and I'm like, remember the Bart Simpson creepypasta where he dies, and they found the episode. It's in black and white, and it's like all this, all this shit. And she would get so mad and so scared. But yeah. Oh shit! What I hit? Wait. Oh shit! I didn't know. Okay, Bart Simpson creepy pasta. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my god! Oh my god! That picture scares the fuck. Okay. Oh my! I'm not gonna show you guys because like oh my god! Is that? What the fuck?
Also, just an update. I lost.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
No,
nobody Google it. That picture. Oh my god, the pic. Okay, maybe I didn't see that picture. Maybe that's what scares her, because that picture's gonna haunt me now. Is there a way I could like remove this element? And I'm gonna get rid of this from the page.
Wait, what did I?
Okay, just Google Bart Simpson creepypasta. You'll find it. It's the first.
I'm not gonna Google that to be triggered.
No, that picture is
The Bart
creepy.
Simpson creepypasta.
That picture is like it triggered me like crazy. Oh, video's frozen? Is the video back? I'm gonna reload it. Hold on, give me a second.
Oh no, we're cursed.
You mentioned the Bart Simpson, and
now we're frozen. Hold on. It looks frozen. Hold on. No, maybe you just have to reload it, because I reloaded it and it works for me. So anyway,
let me check.
No, it works now. I reloaded it, but
Oh, okay, cool.
It might have just froze for a second. I had to reload it. So anyway, I don't know how to read this whole thing, but basically, it goes on about a missing episode, and like there's all this evidence about the episodes labeled 7G06 Moaning Lisa, and apparently that was the episode that replaced Dead Bart, which is the name of the episode. And there's all this evidence going on about it, about like Matt Groening's been asked about it, and there's all these like notes, and the episode is just so creepy. Let me see. Let me try to find it. Act 1. Wait. Okay. See, at the beginning of the series, Wait, let me try to find it. This is the picture of Bart corpse, barely recognizable, blah, blah, blah. So Act 1 ended with a shot of Bart's corpse. When Act 2 started, Homer, Marge, and Lisa were sitting at their table crying. The crying went on and on. It got more pain and sounded more realistic. Better acting than you would think possible. The animation started to decay even more as they cried, and you could hear murmuring in the background. The characters could barely be made out. They were stretching and blurring. They looked like deformed shadows with random bright colors thrown on them. There were faces looking in the window, flashing in and out, so you were never sure what they looked like. The crying went on for all of Act 2. Isn't that some creepy shit? So, Act 3 opened with a title card saying 1 year had passed. Homer, Marge, and Lisa were skeletally thin and still sitting at the table. There was no sign of Maggie or the pets. They decided to go to Bart's grave. Springfield was completely deserted as they walked as they walked to the cemetery. The houses became more and more decrepit. They all looked abandoned. When they got to the grave, Bart's body was just lying in front of his tombstone, looking like it did at the end of Act 1. The family started crying again, eventually stopped and just stared at Bart's body. The camera zoomed in on Homer's face. According to summaries, Homer tells a joke at this part, but it isn't audible in the version I saw. By the way, this is all told by somebody who witnessed watching it. You can't tell what Homer is saying. The view zoomed out as the episode came to a close. The tombstones in the background had the names of every Simpsons guest star on them. Some that no one had heard of in 1989. Some that haven't even been on the show yet. All of them had death dates on them. For guests who had died since, like Michael Jackson and George Harrison, the dates were when they would die. The credits were completely silent and seemed handwritten. The final image was a Simpson family on their couch, like in the intros, but all drawn hyper-realistic, lifeless style of Bart's corpse. A thought occurred to me after seeing this episode for the first time. You could try to use a tombstone to predict the death of living Simpsons guest stars, but there's something odd about most of the ones who haven't died yet. All of their deaths were listed as the same date. Y'all creeped out yet?
I don't want to listen to this no more. This is cryptic. I am really uncomfortable.
So, sorry. I actually didn't mean to. I actually read like almost a third of that. I didn't mean to read it all, but I kept reading. I'm like, oh, this is pretty creepy. Now I'm kind of creeped out, and I don't want to do this anymore. So yeah, so that's like one of the best creepypastas I feel. It's very famous. Don't Google it because that image. I'll be real with you. The image that goes along with that story is, oh god, I don't know if that's meant. It looks more like Homer than Bart. But if that's meant to be Bart, I don't want to. That was disgusting. I don't. Oh, there's like video of it. Do I want to watch this?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna watch it.
Can you put it up on the screen?
Yeah, let me see. I think I can. Hold on. Let me hold on. Oh wait, I gotta do it this way. Hold on. Okay. So bear with me if there's any like weirdness with the audio because I didn't actually sync this. Oh wait, is it just gonna be narrated?
You know how Fox has a weird way.
Yeah, it just narrated. Never mind. It just narrated.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Let me wait. There is images. There is like footage. Hold on.
I'm like watching it from the Twitch thing.
Hold on.
Tried to open it on my now empty computer, and as I suspected, there was an episode of The Simpsons on it. The episode started off like any other episode, but had very poor quality animation.
This is cryptic.
Why is it buffering? Oh, there it goes.
Did you
Okay.
see the original animation for Some Enchanted Evening? It was similar, but less stable. The first act was fairly normal, but the way the characters acted was a little off. Homer seemed angrier, Marge seemed depressed, Lisa seemed anxious, and Bart seemed to have genuine anger and hatred for his parents. The episode was about the Simpsons going on a plane trip. Near the end of the first act, the plane was taking off. Bart was fooling around as you.
I like how it's all silent.
However,
We're all watching.
Oh, it's silent. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm also scrubbing the video to see what comes out. Hold on.
At the beginning of the series, Matt had an idea that the animated style of this
Hold on. I want to see this part at the end.
deserted, and as they walked to the cemetery, the houses became more and
It's the
more
exact thing I read, by the way.
They all looked abandoned. When they got to the grave, Bart's body was just lying in front of his tombstone, looking just like it did at the end of Act.
Do you have audio or not?
Oh, it's not playing?
Eventually,
No.
they stopped and
Oh.
just stared at Bart's body.
I'm sorry. So it got
Cameras
really
zoomed in on
silent. Oh
Homer's
my god,
face.
y'all funny.
According to stories,
Just letting me stay
Why
silent.
do you think I took her out? Oh, I like how it's all silent.
Anyway, I'm sorry. That guy's voice kind of creepy. Anyway, I don't want to watch any more of that. Anyway, sorry. There is a way to turn the audio on. I guess. Like, let me. Yeah, fuck my life. I didn't have the audio on. So sorry, but anyway, sorry. Anyway, who's this? I remember you. You haven't been on in a while, Cyclopsopus. What's up? We're talking spoopy shit. You came in at a good time because you know what we're gonna do right now. First of all, actually, before we do it, do you guys have any other creepypastas to talk about real fast before we move on to the next thing?
The only one I have is like the first one I ever like read. I guess that was it was pretty much one about like a babysitter. It's called The Little Girl in the Red Cape. It's like a babysitter, and like she's, the parents leave and they're like, all right, take care of our kids, and so the kids keep asking for like they ask for ice cream. So the girl like keeps going down because they ask for like ice cream and then peanuts and sprinkles. So she keeps going down to the basement and she like sees like someone out the window that's like a girl in a red cape, and then the girl with the red cape now has a knife, and she's like, oh, I should probably call the cops. And then the third time she goes downstairs, she sees the girl in the red cape with the knife and it's bloody. She goes upstairs, she finds the kids dead. She's telling the parents what happened. She's like, there was a girl and she was wearing a red cape and she was outside your basement window. And they're like, we don't have windows in our basement. We only have mirrors. So that's like it's like my favorite one. It was like one of the first ones I found, and I could remember it so well because it was super short. In my middle school, like, oh, let me tell you a scary story. Like, yeah, it was, it's one of those at the end where you're like, well, shit.
Oh man,
yeah, that was
I'm not gonna lie. I actually was joking about doing the Bloody Mary thing earlier, and I wanted to do it, but now I'm kind of too creeped out. I don't want to do it. I feel like I want to die on the podcast. And it's fun to joke about. It's not cool for when it actually happens. But
for dislike.
it's like, oh shit, I actually died. Haha, go figure. Oh my god, I'm dead. But no. So what we're gonna do next is something kind of crazy. And Konaru, wake up. I mean, is that a Mike? Is that a My Chemical Romance shirt?
Yes.
You're so late.
No, you said when we were joking about you coming back edgy. I didn't realize you came back that edgy, like 2004 edgy, 2006. I know what your name.
I live in 2004.
But oh my god, we just play Helena over and over again. But
That's a creepypasta.
yeah, it is. But no, so what we're gonna do now is something that I've seen done many a time. I actually I shared a video with us like on the chat earlier, and I'll put in the link below because I'll be honest with you, I got the idea originally from a YouTuber I watch a lot named Brutalmoose. His name's Ian. Brutalmoose is awesome. Go check him out. He does food videos. He does like food reviews now, which is kind of awkward. It's like he started doing gaming and other shit. Now he just does food for the past year, but he's amazing. I'll the link to that video below. I think he has a ton of subs. What the fuck? Still credit where credit's due. I'll tweet at him later. He'll probably reply to me, unlike Jonathan Frakes. That bastard didn't reply to me on Saturday. But anyway, I do plan to separate this out of the podcast in its own video, but it'll still be in the podcast, so just bear with us. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to create a creepypasta, improv, live on the podcast. And it's going to be
a train wreck.
Yeah, it's going to be a train wreck. Don't get me wrong, I already feel that it's not going to go well, but fuck it. Please bear with us. If you have a sentence you want to throw in, it'll be out of order like crazy because of the delay. Throw it in the chat. I might throw it in if we feel really stuck. Please, let it be really random because then I can really throw it in, really fuck everything up. But we're going to make creepypasta. We're going to just come up with things on the fly. So we're going to go sentence by sentence. It's going to be Manuel, Konaru, Jasmine. Manuel, Konaru, Jasmine. So,
No.
guys, if you guys can't think of anything cool, just say the first fucking thing that pops in your mind. Make up the sentence as you go along, because we are not gonna have any. We're not gonna have a Bart creepypasta video thing again, where we have a minute of dead air. So yeah.
Okay, Manuel. Why
So-
don't you start then?
So I'm gonna start. It was a cold night in October, in a dark town that usually doesn't know anything scary, but things were different this night.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn. Sorry.
Okay.
We'll say each other's name. We should have said that. So Konaru.
And there was this kid named Clay, and it was Halloween night, so he was getting ready with his sister to go trick-or-treating. Jasmine.
But then, while he was getting ready, he heard someone singing. Manuel.
He tried to follow the singing, and it sounded like it was coming from outside. But when he opened the door, there was no one there. And rather than investigate further, he went back inside because his sister was calling to him. But he couldn't help but think, where was that singing coming from? Konaru.
As they finally get ready to go out trick-or-treating, he hears us singing it again. Jasmine.
And this time, he just decides to ignore it and finish helping his sister get ready. And finally, they're ready to go trick-or-treating.
So they're going trick-or-treating. They're walking down the street together. They're hitting several houses, getting lots of candy. And everything seems to be going fine. Until suddenly, his sister turns towards him and asks, "Do you hear that?" Konaru.
Clay replies, "Hear what?" Really confused, wondering what his sister was talking about. Jasmine.
But then suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he sees something. But it's like a screeching. It's now a screeching.
Ooh.
Manuel.
Clay doesn't know what to do. He hears this, he sees this, and he asks his sister, "Is this the first time you heard that tonight?" Konaru.
His sister replies, "Yeah. This is the first time. I don't know what's going on."
It's screeching and they're being so calm, but go on.
It keeps screeching, and it's hurting my ears. What do I do? Jasmine.
And then, all of a sudden, there's silence. And every street light, every house light goes out on the road.
Ooh.
Manuel.
Not knowing what else to do, Clay grabs his sister's hand, and they both start running down the street, hoping to find their way back to their house before the sound begins again. Konaru.
Suddenly, the sound began again, and they both can hear it, and their ears began to bleed. Jasmine.
Realizing that all seems hopeless, Clay, knowing that his mother gave him protection, pulls out a taser from his pocket. Manuel.
He shouts into the general direction of the where it sounds like the screeching is coming from. "Whoever that is, come out right now! I'm not scared of you!" Konaru.
His sister, crying, holding him from behind, says, "I'm really scared, though." Jasmine.
The darkness starts to close in around them. And suddenly, he feels his sister's hand leave his. And she is the one singing. Manuel.
Clay backs up in disbelief. He doesn't know what to do. He's still holding the taser. His sister is in front of him. The screeching is coming from her. And before he can even make a move, she starts to change. Konaru.
Sorry, I'm dying. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I was dying. Okay. She began changing into a demon hellspawn. Jasmine.
This demon hellspawn almost looked remotely like his sister, but it grew, and it had hooves for hands, and horns coming out of its head, and gray skin, and slowly enclosed within. Aimed the taser at what was his sister, only for the battery to die.
His sister, in her new demonic form, looks almost sad and says, I wasn't going to hurt you, but you raised the taser. Konaru.
He couldn't believe what he was seeing and was in shock. So in shock that he just dropped everything and ran back to his house. He went back into his room. He went back to his room. Jasmine.
He could still see the image of the demonic version of his sister. Finally, he decided that he would go out to the bathroom, wash his face. Maybe it wasn't happening. But when he went into the bathroom, the same room him and his sister had gotten ready that morning, he saw him getting ready. Manuel.
Remembering what had happened earlier in his version of the events, he thought the only thing he could do was to stop his sister now. Konaru.
So he looked up on his cheeky iPhone how to stop a demon hellspawn that is your sister, because apparently this is a very common event. Jasmine.
Making an elaborate concoction of salt and holy water, he throws it on his sister, who melts in like a pool of acid. The other version of himself looks at him and says, "You were the demon the whole time."
Oh!
The
end.
That should be the end.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That actually went far better than I thought it would. If I'm only gonna end it here. I mean, I'm gonna end it in a weird way because I do want to cut this video off from the rest of the podcast. So if you like that, subscribe for more. Watch our podcast. Twitch.tv/AJPlays, Patreon.com/AJConnections. Thank you for watching. But we have a podcast. So moving back to the podcast. Sorry, I wasn't actually ending there. That was just me. I probably should have filmed that separately, but there you go. Fuck it all. That was pretty good. That was a million times better than I thought it would be. I'm not sure if that story had the proper flow, but it had everything there, and the demon that was his sister. That was pretty good. Clay's demon. We'll call it Clay's sister. That'll be the name of that creepypasta. Clay's sister.
Yeah, Clay's. And
go.
it'll be, and then eventually creepypasta, or yeah, what's that guy's name that reads all the creepypasta stories? Whatever his name is, yeah, he'll read this in his voice, and everything will become popular.
Oh, we gotta get that to happen. We gotta get that to happen. Okay. Oh man. Now I kind of feel invigorated to do the Bloody Mary thing, but I also don't want to die, so I'm not going to do it. But you know what? Is Max still watching? I don't think she is anymore. But if Max is still watching,
no,
I'm gonna
probably not.
Yeah, I don't think she is anymore. I'm gonna do it on the podcast next week with Max. So if y'all want to see that happen, tune in, because I want to do it facing the camera. Because I could do it here, but I can't move the camera so you guys can see it. And I want y'all to see it. If something jumps out that mirror and kills me instantly, so I'm gonna have like a bigger mirror here in front of me. I will arrange it, and I'm gonna do it, and I'll do it at the top of the podcast too. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, it'll happen soon. But if you guys are watching on YouTube, it'll probably never get uploaded to the YouTube because I'll just die instantly. But anyway, so there you go. Look forward to that. So anyway, creepypastas. There we go. That was pretty good. I'm still actually kind of shocked. Yay! We actually did that. So anyway. So moving back, that kind of ties into the urban legends thing. Have you guys had any experience with any of these urban legendy things, like the Bloody Marys, the the Slendermans? Well, Slenderman's gonna have Creepypasta itself, but. By the way, do you guys find Slenderman scary? Like, I don't know if I do. Like, that's a funny random aside, but like,
It's like anxiety inducing, but
because
I wouldn't be expecting Slenderman if I like walked outside right now. Like, he's coming for me.
I guess. But then again, I don't know. I don't know about you, but like, if I was walking late at night and anyone was like coming towards me, I'd be a little.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd be a little like, I don't know, man. I don't know. This isn't exactly. This isn't like, you know. This isn't like nighttime in Japan. I don't feel like very safe here if someone's like coming towards me late at night, especially like in the areas I live. But anyway, but yeah.
Speaking of actually urban legends that follow you, there is a one in Japan. It's a nice one though. It's like a good ghost.
Casper.
It's one called Beto Beto, and like pretty much like if you're walking alone in Japan and like you hear footsteps behind you but like no one's following you, it's probably this thing called Beto Beto, and you're just supposed to be like, all right, Beto Beto, please go around, and like it'll go around you and like you'll hear the footsteps like someone's walking around you, and then it'll like, but I don't know. It's just like maybe it's Beto Beto.
I gotta remember that one. I gotta remember that one.
Yeah, someone trying to rob you.
That's so wholesome. I mean, like,
yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever heard an urban legend that wasn't negative. You know, there's all the ones that everyone knows, like not to debunk any things here, but you know, the razors and the apples and all the shit like that. The razors and the candy, to be more specific, like when you get on trick or treating in Halloween. Because actually, fun fact is, you weren't on the podcast when we talked about Halloween, like trick or treating and shit like that. We talked about that with Randy. We talked about it with Heidi. I'm curious. I'm kind of doing my own little soft thing here, survey. When you trick or treated as a kid, did you have adult supervision with you, Jasmine?
Until a certain age. When I went, like, when I was in high school, like, we went by ourselves.
Oh, but you did have adult supervision.
No, it was just two of us.
I mean, like, when you were, like, elementary school, you had an adult with you or something.
Yeah, elementary school, yeah. We had, like, my mom was with me.
Oh.
And, like, sometimes we didn't go, and we just passed out candy, so, like...
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
I'm curious. I don't think I asked you that last week, but... Did you ever trick-or-treat with an adult when you were in elementary school?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god! So okay, so I guess me and Heidi are just fucking weird. Maybe it's a California thing. And Heidi's about just barely older than you, Konaru. So what was I getting at here? Oh yeah, because both of us were talking about like when we were kids, like we were just let off on our own. Don't get me wrong, like I wasn't like a 5-year-old walking by myself. I would walk with an older brother, older cousin, but we're still talking like 12, 13, you know, as opposed like being the oldest one there. Like we're still, it's still kids leading kids. And we were in a big group.
I didn't have anyone. I didn't have anyone like that. I was like the oldest out of like all my siblings, all my cousins.
Same.
So like even then I have a heart condition, so like I had to have an adult with me at that
makes
age,
more sense.
So. Yeah, and then of course I can't, when I'm like 7 years old, I can't watch like 2 or 3 year olds, you know?
Well, I don't know. Like Heidi was saying that when she was like, I forgot what age, really young, I think like 10 or 11, that she was watching her younger brother. And I'm like, I just imagine 10-year-old Heidi, like what would she do if something happened? It's like, would she defend? I can imagine like adult Heidi. So anyway, I don't know. But then again, I was always the youngest out of like all my generation, so to speak, of my family. So like all my brother and sister are older than me. My cousins were all older than me. So I was always the youngest. So I never experienced like, you know, being in charge of anything. But I, you know, my memories, I think I even remember like my brother leaving me alone for a while, like several times. Like I'm like, where'd he go? He's across the street. Okay, you know, it's like it sounds so unsafe now, and it's crazy because like I don't know. I just find that so weird. It's like it's hard to say like, oh, kids should toughen up. I went by myself because I'll be honest with you, it's still not safe. Like I'm not saying it was a good idea to have done that when I was younger. I just find it funny, if that's even the right word to use. So yeah. Anyway, I apologize. There was not an absurd amount of blood in that creepypasta rip. Anyway. So other urban legends. Oh, like I was saying though about the candy trick or treating. I don't know if you all know, but that's like a super huge urban myth, so to speak, because there was one story about I think it was like a wife to a husband, if I'm not mistaken about the details, who put like razor blades in an apple to try to kill him, or maybe she did kill him, and because of this one story, it became this like, your kid's gonna get razors in the candies forever. You know, apparently it's never happened since.
Razors in the chocolate. They would like slide them into the chocolate bars.
Yeah, and apparently it's never happened since. There's been no cases of it except like internet memes. I always love my favorite ones are like, it's like, oh, I just like always check your kid's candy, and it's like somebody opened a Kit Kat, and when they open the Kit Kat, like there's a giant assault rifle in there or something, or it's like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, and it's like what the. Shit like that, and I'm like, oh my! It's like always check your kid's candy. It's a grenade inside of like a tiny bag of like fun-sized gummy bears, some shit like that. Yeah, I love those kind of memes. It's like anyway, and anyway, that's that. Did you guys ever experience like I talked about Bloody Mary earlier? Did you guys ever like fuck around with shit like that? Like those kind of there's other variations on those kind of urban legends. Did you guys fuck around with those?
No.
Really?
Oh, no. I know, like, kids that did. Like, I was going to, but I was like, I chickened out most of the time because I was by myself, and I was like, nah. I'm gonna go. Like, I know there was, like, something where, like, because, like, where I came from, there was, like, a lot of different ways you could, like, protect yourself. Like, you could flush the toilet before she comes, and, like, weird stuff.
Oh my god, I never heard that. I gotta, like, run to the bathroom. Oh, speaking of flushing the toilet.
Yep, gotta go pee.
There goes Konaru. Anyway, is there a sloth behind her? I think a sloth laying like this. But no, it's funny because like I remember like, did you ever see Candyman?
No, I did not, but I heard of it.
That movie came out about the time when I was like, pretty young and like around my formative years. And I remember like being super obsessed with it because the whole premise of that movie, besides like the killer himself, but it was, I believe, say Candyman 5 times in a mirror and he comes like So I remember when the movie came out, like my brother did it, like mind you, like I was really young, I think, and my brother like, come on, let's go do it. Like we were home alone watching Candyman. Probably some awesome parenting decisions going on there, but anyway, we were home alone watching Candyman, and we were both really young, and so we're watching it, and we go to, and he's like, come on, let's go do it. So we went to the bathroom, and he goes to the bathroom, and he goes to the mirror. He's like Candyman. I think it's 5 times. I want to say it's 5, not 3. And he's back at the last one. I'm like, no, don't stop. I'm like, I'm really small kid. I think I was almost starting to cry at this point. I'm like, no, don't do it. So he did it anyway, and like he faked like he was like something was happening to him, like he was dying basically, and like I lost my shit. I was screaming, I was crying, and he was just like, he rolled his eyes back and he was like pretending he couldn't hear me. He was going catatonic and like having a seizure on the floor, and I'm like, I thought it was real, and I was like, oh my god, and then he started laughing, and I was just like, I was still crying. I was like, inconsolable. And I'm like, no, and I wouldn't let him touch me, and I'm like, no. He's like, it's okay. Shh. He's like, don't tell mom, basically, And I'm like, no, I'm telling. I don't remember if I told her or not. And
But what? Why are you calling me out?
No, I was telling a story about how my brother like spooked me doing the Candyman thing, from the movie.
What?
My brother spooked me doing like it's a takeoff like Bloody Mary, But I remember when I was a little older, like still not much older, I want to say we're at my grandfather's house because I remember this at my grandfather's house, but I also don't remember ever being alone there. I would have sworn we would have woke someone up with this because the house wasn't that big. But maybe I'm wrong about that detail. It doesn't really matter. So I was doing it there. And I remember I did it, like I was doing Bloody Mary. It wasn't candy, I was doing Bloody Mary. So I was like, Bloody Mary, Bloody... I forgot what the whole thing was. I was doing the whole thing, and I did it. And my brother locked me in the bathroom. And like, this bathroom had... Yeah, this bathroom was... This is the reason I... Actually, no, it had it at my grandfather's house because this bathroom was poorly designed where the light was outside. Like, we would fuck with each other all the time and turn it off when we were in there just to be a jerk, you know? The light was outside, though. And he shut the door and turned off the light. And I'm like, oh my God, I was freaking out in there. And yeah, that was my other traumatizing experience with those kind of things. But I was a little older and I just freaked out. I don't think I started crying or freaked out that much, but it was like the Candyman thing, 'cause that was a bit different. But I did freak out and I was really scared. And I think I just sat in the corner until they opened the door. I just sat there and was like huddled up, you know, like, it's fine, everything will be fine. Bloody Mary's not gonna come kill me. But yeah. And so I'm gonna do all this again. I'm gonna do all those again next week with Max. And if I die, I die. But tempting fate here, Konaru. Go grab. I know you have a mirror because you always like do your hair and stuff before we start, Konaru. Just do the Bloody Mary thing now. So.
Oh no, I don't do
Whatever
that.
happens,
No.
do it.
No, I don't do that.
Like your phone camera, like does that?
I know, I was gonna say that too.
Is it gonna be like the new age ring where like she comes out of your tablet and shit?
There's like a horror movie called like Unfriended where it's like that kind of concept.
Oh
Really?
yeah, no, it's
That's
funny.
what that movie's about.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid too because the movie takes place during a Skype call. And
Yeah, it's like Paranormal Activity but through a Skype call.
no, I
If
feel
that makes sense.
I feel like we
It
could
was
film
just
that. Yeah, exactly. I feel like we could film that too without like, you know, without much fuss. It's not very good. It's weird because it's not very good, but it like won a ton of awards. By the way, I tried to look up Bloody Mary, and a bunch of like and recipes for the drink came up instead. Bloody Mary.
Have you seen the Bloody Mary movie where like a group of people that did it, and like she was like following them through like each of their mirrors, like killing them off? Like,
No,
one by
I
one?
haven't. I mean, I know of it.
It
Wait.
starts off
Is it
like
is it the Urban Legends one or is it the standalone? 'Cause I know there was a couple of them. Is it called
I
just
think
Bloody
it
Mary?
was a standalone.
Yeah,
one.
I haven't seen that one.
Because like it was one where like they went to like an old house or something and they were like getting drunk and partying and like they did the Bloody Mary thing for fun and nothing happened, and then like she came back to kill each one of them. Like a guy was driving the car, like because they figured out that they had to go destroy the original mirror they did it in.
Yeah.
The guy's like driving it and like she pops up in like his rear view mirror and like strangles him, and like it's really crazy, but it was kind of a cool movie. So like they get back to the house and like if they're standing in front of the mirror and she's in the mirror, like she can grab their arm, like prevent them from breaking it and all kinds of stuff. It was jumping between mirror shards and they just had to like burn the place down, but it was
That sounds like any other thing. It's like, no, gotta burn everything down now. The Bloody Mary's taking
everything must go.
But was it saying? I gotta do that Bloody Mary. I can do it on my selfie phone. See, I'm still kind of nervous now. Now I feel like I'm gonna die. I didn't feel that earlier. Let me see.
She might be telling you something. Your local FBI man might be trying to tell you to stop.
I know. Exactly. You remember?
Your sign FBI person's telling you, nah, man, don't do it.
Don't do it, man. Don't fuck up. I remember we were talking about the when he was keeping an eye out about the job thing. He's like, man, it's dirty, bro. I got you. Here, sue their asses or whatever. But yeah. Fuck. Anyway, I keep forgetting you're a lizard person. I was gonna reference that and I totally forgot until this second. You're a lizard person, Jasmine. I forgot about that. You know, you remember the whole Justin Bieber story where he had the claws and like the snapping like teeth or whatever? It's like, I love that detail of the story. He wasn't just a lizard person, like that. It was, you know, he just happened to be a lizard. He was a monster. He was like, you know, like what the fuck? I don't get it. How do the lizard people control the world if all they do when they're in their normal form is you know, like attack each other. It's like you would think they would just be lizards and, you know, just still be, you know, lose an arm and it grows back or whatever the fuck else lizard powers they would have, but not like, you know, but not like hiss at each other and try to like claw at innocent people. But anyway, sorry, I'm dying. Oh god, Konaru got me sick. It's funny because what's her name sick? Heidi's sick too, and I was telling her she should like cough an envelope and send it to us to get like the idol virus. So maybe you got the idol virus, Konaru. You should be happy. You got Konaru. You got Heidi's sickness. We should all do like, you know, down with the sickness kind of, you know. I can't even do it right now. Do it, Konaru. Ooh, do it. You're gonna die. Anyway, so any other urban legend? Any other? You mentioned serial killers earlier, Jasmine. Actually, you didn't mention them. Yeah. You mentioned them before we started, but nobody else knew that.
Yeah.
Oh man, time's flying in this podcast. But go on.
Yeah. So pretty much in the panel I do for like cons, I do like Japanese like horror stories and urban legends and superstitions and stuff. So the one segment I have is like the real life horrors, which are like really crazy, like Japanese serial killers. And one of them that always gets me, I have a few. I always have like a lot of these. Were all done by children. Like we're talking like 12 and 11. And these are like actual like cases of things that had happened. One was murders, and it was like a early, what we would consider, I don't know, middle school or elementary school, like 11 or 12-year-old who killed another one and like put his head outside in front of the school building and like taunted the people to like, he was like, my years of bitterness have like made me do this.
What the fuck?
And this is a 10-year-old.
I know, what years of bitterness?
No, sorry, it was a 14-year-old, sorry. He was like, I think he was 13 when it actually happened, you know, time for them to find him. Killed like another 10-year-old and assaulted 3 other girls. But like he wrote in like the diary that they found that like this like Bara or something. What is it called? Why did I say Onibara? He kept saying he called himself that, but it's Bamoi the Dokishin. Sorry, it was like he just like called it that, and like to this day no one knows what it was. Like probably something he made up, but like he said like this thing made him do it.
Yeah. And
like yeah, so that was like one thing. Killer story. It happened in Kobe. And another one was a 11-year-old schoolgirl murdered her 12-year-old classmate. And like during a lunch break or something, and she was saying like the girl bullied her for her weight and called her like a goody two shoes, and like it ended up lowering like the age of criminal responsibility in Japan because like
to what 10?
Yeah, I guess I don't know exactly what it got lowered to, but like, it ended up lowering the age because like there were so many like there's this in the 90s, early 2000s. There's a lot of these like murders going on, but like 11-year-olds killing each other.
That's like a crazy social issue.
And these weren't like it was like knife like stabbing people, cutting people's heads off, and like it's really crazy.
I don't want to spook anyone also, by the way, but I have this shot glass that's like a mirror thing, and like it's kind of making these weird things because the lights are reflecting into it. I have like Halloween lights here. Ooh, shouldn't touch that. And I swear to God, I saw a face in it earlier, which is why I kept staring at it, looking behind me, and like it's weird because it's kind of facing the mirror, and I'm like, whose face was that? It's looking at the mirror, and I'm like, is it Bloody Mary? Because I keep saying and keep taunting her or some shit like that. She's like, bitch, you want me to come or not? Because I want to kick your ass, you know. But yeah, it's creeping me the fuck out is what it's doing. Dude, that's so crazy though. All these like children serial killers. I mean, like, not the serial, but all these children murderers. I was talking earlier about the child's play thing, and I don't think there's. I can't. Well, I should say I don't think. I can't think of any like children. Now I don't want to Google this because I'm like now I'm kind of scared what I'm going to come up with. If there are any like child murderers in the U.S. or something, in the U.S. Oh shit! Hold on, I gotta look this up. This is actually a list of the youngest killers on Wikipedia. Wait, what?
Yeah, the second one happened in 2004 and the other one happened in 97.
No, apparently, there's the youngest is from the United States, by the way. It's a guy named. Well, it's a child named Dedrick Darnell Owens who killed someone when he was the ripe age of 6 years, 9 months, and 26 days. I love that breakdown, by the way. He couldn't just be 6.5, almost 7. He's 6 years, 9 months. I'm trying to find where Japan comes into this list first. Here's the one I think you mentioned. It's unnamed female student. Yeah, that's unnamed female student, and that was when she was 11. My God!
Yeah.
Okay, for almost all of them, it says arrested. Whatever. For that very first one that was 6 years, 9 months, which happened, I guess it happened at school. It happened at Buell Elementary School in Mount Morris Township, Michigan. So is that kind of near you, Jasmine? I mean, like you're not in Michigan, but I don't know.
It was where I used to live.
Oh, really?
The state. Yeah, it was right above me. Well, the state above me.
Yeah.
So that was like.
Oh gosh, I mean, I this strikes me as crazy. Anyway, the next oldest I should say is from India, and that's 8. And there's a crap ton from like 10, 11, 12. Those are actually let me see. There's a lot from the U.S. though. There's somebody at Fort Gibson. Were they a child of a? Oh wait, these are old. It's like 18 something. He was probably a soldier.
Ugh.
I don't mean that as a joke, but I mean that like actually in a sad reality, he's probably a soldier. If he like, you sure that was? Oh, there's somebody in Riverside. What the fuck? 10 years, 10 months, 12 days. I love how some of these are very specific with how old they are. Oh my God. Okay, let me look up this one. This person killed 5 people. I'm kind of scared to click on them because I don't want to start talking about school shootings. As a matter of fact, I'm done with this topic. Let's move on. Because I'm afraid. Okay. Because I'm afraid that if I keep clicking around, I don't know why I went so deep into that. I was amazed that when I looked at the list, the very first one, the youngest is actually 6. But yeah, I'm afraid when I noticed someone that were at school and had high numbers, I didn't want to click them anymore because I'm like, ooh, that's not a topic. That's not a topic.
We're getting into that.
Yeah, like we're not touching that. So we'll just stop right there. So as a matter of fact. What else we have to talk about? Creepypasta, ghost story wise. We have any other ghost stories? Have any other urban thingies? And any other?
We had some of the Japanese urban legends, which ironically enough take place, well, not normally at school, but in bathrooms.
Do you hear anything about Hanako-san?
Hanako-san. There's like 4 different ghosts that like come for you in the bathroom. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, apparently you can't go to the bathroom in peace in Japan. But Hanako-san was crazy because I'll be honest with you. When I was kind of researching this podcast, I was looking up a few things, and I looked up like Japanese things, and I didn't realize because I mean, some of you know Hanako-san, what the fuck her name is, the idol. I didn't realize. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I always knew, and we've talked about her panels before. I always knew she took the idea from the concept of like the urban legend. Yeah. I didn't realize she was personifying the urban legend. It's as if I didn't know that. Do you know that? No. I thought Hanako-san was her name, and that like my point is it's the equivalent of somebody calling themselves Bloody Mary and like stealing all the the things. I didn't know that about Hanako-san. I didn't realize that every little bit of her backstory was that legend, which you could probably tell us right now, Jasmine. I don't think I even know the story actually.
Yeah. Hanako's her story. It's like they have different reasons like how she became whatever. Some were like she was killed by like a teacher, and others was she like killed herself in the bathroom. Like there are like millions of ways that say it, like if you know where you're from, where Hanako-san came from. But pretty much she's like the Japanese Bloody Mary. Girls will like taunt each other to go into the bathroom and like instead of the mirror, like you knock on like the floor, third stall over. It's normally the one that they always say like acts up or something. Pretty much the bad toilet. And like you're supposed to like knock on the door and be like, Hanako-san, are you there? And then from there, all kinds of things that'll happen. They say, okay, so Hanako-san, if you're there, if she says yes, I am, the stall should open. And if you investigate, you'll get pulled down to hell. You know, the classic.
I mean, that's normal.
Yeah,
Konaru, are you alive?
If not, they say like if you go in the bathroom by yourself, sometimes you'll hear her asking if you want to be friends, and she'll pull you in through the toilet.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, and if you say no, she'll cut you up into pieces anyway. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah. So like that's one of the big things. Some people portray her as like you see the idol. Hanako-san, the old idol, or whatever he wants to call herself, but like with the short like bob cut. Mm-hmm. Some people say she's got like an old school bun in her hair, which I don't really hear that one very often anymore. But yeah, those are like the big things for Hanako-san. Either you're on the toilet and you hear her, or you like actually summon her. So, oh well. And then some. Also in the bathroom is the Akamanto, which is like the paper guy who asks you what kind of paper you want. And there's all kinds. Some people say if you say yellow paper, you'll be safe, because then he'll give you a swirly.
What the fuck? I mean, that's safe.
Yeah, like if you say, because normally it's like red paper or blue paper. Like red paper, you either get like skinned or something. And then like blue paper, you get like choked until you turn blue. But they say if you say like yellow paper, he'll give you like a swirly. And then like another one is like if you say... if you say like no paper, I think it'll confuse him. Oh, they said, okay, if you say places, he's a nice ghost where he'll just like stroke your butt.
The fuck? That is harassment, sir. That is harassment, sir.
Like the chosen color, he'll just like reach his hand out and like, there you go.
There. There.
Yeah, there. So yeah, some people say like if you get red tongue or blue tongue, it'll also be a and do that instead.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, like there's all kinds of. Yeah.
That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite ones. What if you just want someone to touch your butt? It's like, there you go. Please.
Yeah, the toilet ghost population is quite high.
Would you say, Konaru? You want to go?
I want a ghost to touch my butt.
I know, that's kind of fun. I wish we had like, you know, I had a Japanese school lying around. I can go try that on. That sounds weird, but.
I wish I had Japanese school lying around. You know how like bad that sounds?
I know. I was about to say, like, I didn't mean like that. And it's funny because I was going to follow it up with, I meant so a ghost could touch my butt, but that doesn't sound any better. So I don't even know how to finish that sentence. But I didn't mean like that. I just want a ghost to touch my butt. Is that too much to ask in this day and age?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Just ask red tongue. White tongue, I think. A hand. The wrong one will get you pulled into the toilet, though. That's not fun.
There was this horror movie. I want to say it was one of the Critters movies. Like, I want to say it was Critters. It might have been Ghoulies or some other shit like that. I think it's Ghoulies. I think that's the image, is like the thing coming from the toilet. And there was a monster that came from the toilet. Like, it was a very cheesy puppet monster. But when I was really young, I saw it, and it scared the fuck out of me. And it made me not want to, like, use a toilet, basically. I mean, obviously one has to in their life, but I'd be so scared by it. And then we used to have this really disgusting apartment when I was younger that had, like, I think I mentioned part of the story already, how they, like, it wasn't a serious roach problem. We had like roaches, and there was one time there was a roach in the toilet, and mind you, it was like you saw it before I used it, and like, there's a roach in the toilet. And I flushed it. I flushed the toilet. The roach died. But I remember after that, I was like, "Oh my god, that roach is gonna come up and like touch my butt." So yeah, I was just so scared about like things in the toilet like coming to get me. So that actually, and it's funny because like that once again, that's the thing I haven't thought about since I was like what under 10, and now I'm like, oh god, the toilet. I don't want to touch the toilet now. Just like I don't know, just use the tub. That's disgusting. I'm joking, by the way.
People hanging out in the bathroom. And it kind of crowded.
Oh my god! I'm gonna summon everyone in the bathroom. You know, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna sit in the toilet, summon the ghost to my butt. I'm gonna get the mirror, open it like this way, because I could do that actually. Open my like drug cabinet mirror so it faces me when I'm on the toilet, and then like do Bloody Mary, and then get the other mirror, get Candyman. You know.
Hanako-san.
Yeah, I'm gonna
you gotta get the whole party.
Get the whole gang up in that bathroom. It's like, what's up? Who wants to kill me first?
I wonder what happens.
I know.
When urban legends meet, like...
Do they fight each other to kill me? And then, like, maybe I... And meanwhile, I'm just sitting there getting my butt touched. And it's like, yeah.
You just...
I'm the winner in all this.
Oh my god.
Okay, I need to stop. It's like, this is like the butt-touching podcast. You know what? I shouldn't have said that because that sounds terrible. I didn't say that. Okay, don't take that out of context. I'm done. I'm done talking about that. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. I gotta keep my mouth shut. That's like shit Manuel says taken out of context 101. So yeah. I don't know. You should cosplay Hanako-san, not the idol per se, but the Hanako-san thing, Konaru. Oh, you know what the another crazy one is this, I didn't realize until like I watched a couple movies. There was one called Carve, which is amazing, but there's also one called Slit Mouth Woman, which is the woman who has like the slit mouth.
Oh yeah, kuchisake-onna.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there's like a crap ton of film adaptations of that. There's one called Carved, which I think is called that. I'm not gonna try to say it because I never actually said it before. Anyway, I think it was called that in Japan, but it's called Carved in the U.S. That one's amazing. It stars Eriko Sato, who is famous at the time because she had just come off the Cutie Honey movie. Like she had just played Cutie Honey, and now she's like in that horror movie. Kind of at the time, at the time it was a crazy thing, but anyway, but yeah, that shit creeps me the fuck out. Like if you want to talk about like you know, besides any ghosts.
One thing you can do is throw hard candy at her, though. She likes hard candy.
Yeah, because isn't that part of the myths about... Was that with the... how does that go? Because is that like with the child or some shit? I don't remember anymore. What's the story behind that?
I don't know why, but...
By the way, like... I'm sorry. The hard candy thing is a thing from One Missed Call. Sorry, ignore me. I mean, not your thing with the hard candy, but my thing about the kid with the hard candy, because like she would put the candy in your mouth after she killed you. But that's from One Missed Call. But go on.
Oh.
I guess 'cause she can't chew it because she has like a fucking weird ass mouth.
Yeah.
But yeah, Slit Mouth Woman. I'm kind of scared what I'm gonna come up with. I don't really want to see. Oh god, those ones are kind of crazy. The Carved is the first thing that comes up. What the fuck? Fuck you, IMDb. That is not a 5. That's not a 5 out of 10 movie. That's a fucking amazing movie. But yeah, kuchisake-onna.
Yeah, I think the way to beat her is to say she's so looking.
Oh wow, really? Oh, because she asked, "Am I pretty?" Oh, because isn't she veiled or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't she veiled?
What'd you say?
Isn't she veiled? Like she's wearing something on her mouth.
Yeah,
it's
sometimes they say she covers her face with like a fan or like a mask or like just like this or am I pretty? And then she'll be like, "Am I now?" Like you're like, I don't know how I feel about that.
It's like, am I pretty, guys? Am I pretty? Am I pretty? Like it's like fucking slit. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. I'm a lizard.
she's a lizard.
I know.
She's one of the first, but no one realized it yet.
Oh my god. There's a crap ton of movies. There's a ton. Like, okay, there's one from the 90s I've never seen, but I guess the one that's called Carve is like the one from 2007. But then there's like 4 of them. No exaggeration, by the way. There's 4 different slit mouth woman movies based on the legend, the kuchisake-onna. There's 4 of them in 2008. 4. 2 in 2010, 1 in 2011, so on. But I can't get over that. I guess Card was that big of a hit because, mind you, that was like a big budget movie. You can kind of tell by watching it that there were 4 fucking movies right after, and I don't know if they're related. I have a feeling they're not because it's like an urban legend. They probably aren't actually. Oh, there was one. There was 2 sequels actually. Wait, 2? No, sorry. There was the sequel and the prequel. Never mind. But I've never seen those. I wonder if they still star the same people. Let me look it up. Starring Eriko Sato. Let me see if she came out in the others. Now I just want to know. Cutie Honey, no. Carve, no. She didn't come out in the others. So anyway, she was
Sadako versus Kayako, which is like The Ring versus The Grudge. I forgot about that movie.
Oh, it was pretty bad.
It was like the Japanese version of like Freddy versus Jason.
I know. It was funny because like we had Heidi do the death rattle. Can you do the death rattle? I can't even see. That was my death rattle. That was terrible.
Oh, like that thing, right?
Yeah, that was actually much better than like either me and Heidi did it. Can you do it, Konaru?
I
used to do it all the time to creep people out.
You're like dead.
Just like, yeah.
It's fine.
I took some Tylenol before the podcast. So
are you falling asleep?
Yeah.
Do death rattle.
But we should actually start. Speaking of, I'm not gonna go sleep right now. It's still early as fuck for me. But we should actually start wrapping this up. Anything else you wanted to add? I think we actually covered more of those urban legendy things I thought we would, because I thought we were running out of time, but we covered a decent amount. Anything else you want to add? Any other crazy cool ones before we wrap it up?
There's a good one to end off is like the Japanese version of the Ouija board.
Oh, isn't that yeah. How does that work? Because there's a movie. Once again, I actually own a DVD. Actually, I sold it. Fuck. I used to have this DVD. I got rid of a ton of my DVDs recently, though. And it was like, they both look low budget as fuck, though. I think I got the DVD for like $5. It was like a two movie on one disc, and one was kuchisake-onna. The other was what's it called? Oh, something-san. What's it called? The board. Isn't it called something?
Oh, the Kokkuri-san board.
Oh, Kokkuri.
Kokkuri-san, yeah.
Kokkuri-san. Yeah, so it was that, and then kuchisake-onna, and it was like, I just imagine like urban legends, low budget, straight to video movies, and I didn't watch them. I wish I had before I sold it. But I sold the DVD because I'm like, I have too much crap. I can't keep all this crap around. But anyway, so what about it? What about that board?
So pretty much like you have to hand draw out this whole board, and like you need like a 1 yen coin.
Oh, there's
no.
On the spirit.
I think
it's anime on Kokkuri-san, but it doesn't matter what kind of coin it is.
But
no, wait.
Anime.
Wouldn't you want to use like a 10 yen or a 5 yen coin? Which is the coin that has a hole? There's a coin that has a hole.
Pretty much it has to be like you have to be able to spend it by time of the day, like by the next day. So like,
dude, 1 yen.
It doesn't really matter.
1 yen coins are hard to spend. 1 yen coins are hard to spend because unless you go to a konbini that charges like crazy tax numbers, you're not going to spend that 1 yen coin because nowhere takes 1 yen.
Yeah.
Because everything's rounded up to fives. So like if you go to most of the places, it'll be like 95 yen, 100 yen. So unless you give it to someone, unless you go to konbini, you're not spending that 1 yen coin. So rip if you use the 1 yen.
Yeah, they're like, you need to never be interrupted in the middle of the game. You shouldn't play it alone, and
oh man,
you never take your fingers off the coin, type of thing. You're let out spirits and stuff. You know, kind of how the Ouija board works, but it's hand drawn. You need to like burn the paper and stuff afterwards. Let me see.
It's funny because the Ouija board, for those of you who don't know, like the Ouija board is like, you know, this is a board game manufactured by like, you know, by like Milton Bradley or whatever, so it's not quite.
I met Toys R Us. Well, before Toys R Us was.
Huh?
You know, you could find Ouija boards at Toys R Us.
Yeah, so I always find, but this always struck me as more realistic because like the handwritten aspect and, you know, more spiritually not nonsense. Once again, nonsense not meaning like it's fake, but nonsense isn't like shenanigans.
Yeah, that one definitely Kokkuri-san is pretty. And I just thought of one more because. Before we wrap up, because it reminded me of the anime Higurashi, if anyone has taken the effort to watch all of those.
Fuck me up with Higurashi.
Higurashi is freaky, y'all, but there's a village that in Japan during like a festival or something, like it burned and like there's a bad massacre or something, and they say that if you go by that village, you can hear like the sounds of like people like screaming, and then like it'll be like festival noises, like happy noises, and then like screaming and fire, and then festival noises. I don't know. I think it's called the Sugi village. And then I heard the place from Higurashi was also based off of a real place, but that's a spoiler alert. So
rip.
I won't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the village from Higurashi was supposed to be based off of a real place.
Now,
I know where that village is, and I want to go visit it for my next trip.
now
You can do that. Manuel will do Bloody Mary. It'll be good.
No, I want to do all of these. I want to do Kokkuri-san, Kokkuri. I want to do that thing too, and see if we get like massacred by the spirits. Have you guys played Corpse Party? Right? Is that thing a thing?
Yeah.
Is that an actual urban legend? Or was that made up for the game?
The little
the paper doll.
Thing? That is a real urban legend.
Really?
I don't know much about it, but it's supposed to be a good thing, not a.
Oh, not like you get massacred for doing it. I want to try that now.
I don't think. Quick. Oh my god! Why can't I? Oh.
Let's try all these at ALA, Konaru. If we die, we die. Oh my god, my fucking mic stand. My mic stand is not liking me today. It's been like fighting with me the whole night. Okay, there, that should be tighter. Okay, there. Yeah, that works.
I love how there's like the first thing is this real? Is this real?
Oh my god, no. Oh fucking shit. Okay, never mind. Well, we're wrapping it up anyway. I think I broke it. I think I broke my mic, my scissor arm. Look at this. It shouldn't be moving like this. I think I broke it. Anyway. It like leans now. But who is this person? Anyway. Sorry, somebody's messaging me. I don't know who the fuck it is. Someone's like, I'm not exaggerating. Somebody messaged me right now. I'm kind of creeped out. Somebody messaged me, and they're like, what are you doing in June? And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, what are you doing? And I'm like, the fuck, who are you? Like, that wasn't me asking for more details. That was me legitimately saying, what? You know? Anyways, now I'm going to be killed on Facebook. It's going to be like the Facebook murders, too. But, anyway. No, I'm serious. Who the fuck is this? Are you watching? Are you watching me? I don't want to say names because I do know them. I'm not friends with them. That's the funny thing. I got this weird I got that notification when you get like a message request.
Message request, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't get those very often because all my shit's public, and usually even when people message me, it'll still show up as a message. You know, like still like not a request, but like, you know, I don't know why they think I'm gonna want to talk to them anyway. But anyway, I'm creeped out now. I feel like I'm gonna die. It's Bloody Mary. It's Bloody Mary. Like, what you doing in June? Because I'm gonna come kick your ass. So anyway, I forgot what the fuck I was saying. So yeah, actually, let's get ready to wrap that up. I want to try all of these. I want to try all these at some point. Obviously, I don't think we'll have time to do them for Halloween, mainly because there's a crap ton of things I still got to do. These podcasts have been taking up so much time out of like all my shit. But anyway, start wrapping it up, I guess. Konaru, come back to life for a minute. I think we wrap this up.
Okay.
So, upcoming shit, this weekend, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be doing this weekend. I don't want to go to Kamikaze anymore because it's going to be hot. So I'm probably not going to go, but I got a thing at Kamikaze. I might or might not go. There's a couple parties I'll be going to, but we'll see what happens. It's Halloween, bitch. We should have another Saturday podcasty thing or Friday or Thursday podcasty thing. We'll look up schedules for that later. I mean, we'll let you know via Twitter and Twitch. Check that out. Next Tuesday, we'll be live with Max at 7 p.m.
Yes.
We'll be live with Max, and we'll be debuting some bit of her new MV, which will be dropping the next day. So please watch for that. I'll have links to all of our shit below, including Max, including all the shit I talked about, including some trailers for the movies I mentioned. HentaiCon is next week. God damn, it's so close. I should prep for that. I kind of want to skip some time, but we might just keep going live indefinitely because we've had such a good track record. But we'll see what happens. Watch us on Twitch and everything like that. Watch us on Twitter for details. If you guys, everyone watching this, be it, I don't know if anyone's still watching us on Twitch, but if actually we got a few people back. If you guys like what we do here, like, don't get me wrong, we're not gonna talk about Halloween forever, but if you like us doing more random, less scripted podcasts, let me know, because I've been toying with that like almost all year with the second half open topics we've been doing on and off. and now we kind of just been doing that for like a month straight. So, and let's not forget the time I wrote that episode for Sylvia. I wrote an episode there that we threw out. So it's so much easier to not have to write them. So we'll see. Anyway, patreon.com/ADJconnections if you like what we do. So help support us. If you can't, then honestly, just watching and liking and all that good shit is even better. Not even better, but it's just good. I mean to say, sorry. Shout out to Ed and Kenneth, our current patrons. Shout out to all the 940 some odd people subscribing to us on YouTube. Just a little more and we're at 1,000 again. So, I mean, 1,000 again. We're at 1,000 for the first time. So please subscribe. And, so yeah, we have him say Jamming King 20. I don't know if you, actually, I don't know if your Jasmine's friend says it's a good thing. I think we should do that. It's been a lot of fun. Anyway, let us know otherwise. Good night. Peace.
Good night. I'm going to the doctor tomorrow.
Credits to my friend for helping me with the Japanese horror story research for like the last 3 years.
Hopefully, if y'all want to have some fun tonight, hopefully a ghost touches your butt. Good night.
Get a ghost touch your butt. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.